This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine Volume 2, dated January 19, 26, 2001, celebrating the new year. The cover features characters from Shenmue 2, with the subtitle, Shenmue 2, Hong Kong Landing. It highlights a special scoop on Cyber Troopers Virtual On Force. The cover also promotes special New Year features, including a Dreamaga special present, a DC License vs Dreamaga Face-Off, and New Spring Maker and Creator New Year Greetings. Other mentioned games include Canvas, Pia Carrot, EU Koso 2.5, Gundam Network Battle, Nailbreed, Hundredland, Sword of the Berserk, Guts Rage, Eldora D Gate Volume 3, Phantasy Star Online, Sakatsuku Special Extra Edition J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, Daytona USA 2001, Gun PRX, Guilty Gear X, and Moero. Justice Gakuen, Rival Schools 2, Never-Ending Story. The bottom text emphasizes that Dreamcast is still going strong in the 21st century. The price of the magazine is 480 yen. This page is an advertisement for Phantasy Star Online. The headline reads, Network Game Demon, There Are Things You Can't Do Alone. It features artwork of various characters from the game. The advertisement emphasizes that Phantasy Star Online is a network RPG rebirth, where players can experience adventure and excitement in a 3D world, with friends, fighting dragons and cooperating to clear dungeons. It mentions that the game is compatible with VGA boxes, Puru Puru packs, and Dreamcast keyboards. The game is available now on sale for 6,800 yen. The bottom shows screenshots of gameplay. This page highlights a number of Dreamcast games that are currently on sale. 100 Swords is featured, a real-time simulation game supporting up to 4 players in network battles, emphasizing large-scale conflicts with a grand story and hundreds of characters. It's advertised as on sale from February 15th. Sakatsuku Tokudai-gu, a J-League professional soccer club simulation game with updated data and visuals, is also on sale now. Daytona USA 2001, boasting enhanced graphics and network play, is another title available for purchase. Atsumare Guru Guru Onsen, a collection of casual games like Mahjong and cards for online play, with chat and customization features, is offered at a lower price. Power Smash, a realistic tennis game with a network mode, is also advertised as being on sale. At the bottom of the page, there is a Dreamcast Direct advertisement encouraging users to buy games online and take advantage of the DreamPoint Bank system. This page is the contents page, listing features such as New Year's greetings from 57 Dreamcast licensees, creator interviews, and a feature titled DC Licensee vs Dreamakaga, with Graveyard Idols Risatani and Akari Sasaki. There's an arcade special on Virtual On Force, an investigation into 21 ST Century game events, and game previews for Canvas Sepia Color Motif, Pia Carrot EU Koso 2.5, Illbleed, and Gundam Network Battle, provisional title. The page also explains the icons used throughout the magazine to indicate game features. This page is split into sections detailing Dreamcast game information. Firstly, Dreamcast Hot Information highlights upcoming titles, such as the tactical action game 100 Swords, the fighting sequel Fighting Vipers 2, Eldorado Gate, Volume 3, and the shooter GigaWing 2. Next, the Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide acts as a detailed index for game features within the magazine. This includes Phantasy Star Online, the Japan-only adventure game Tante Shinshi Dash, Jet Set Radio known as De La Jet Set Radio in Japan, and the Japan-only card captor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Daisakusen. Also listed are Sakatsuku Tokudai Guyu, part of the Sega Professional Soccer Series only released in Japan, Sonic Shuffle, Daytona USA 2001, Gunspike, Guilty Gear X, Project Justice, Burn Justice School, Never 7 The End of Infinity, and Last Blade 2 Final Edition, listed as Bakumatsu Roman Dainimaku Gekka, no Kenshi Final Edition. Finally, there's a game index on the right, organized by Japanese alphabetical order, which serves as a quick guide to find articles about specific games within the magazine, listing page numbers for each title. This page is all about a new use for the Dreamcast game Fish Life in restaurants, specifically sushi restaurants. It seems like Sega's Fish Life game, where you raise tropical fish, is being implemented into a sushi ordering system. The system uses a 15-inch LCD monitor at each table, displaying sushi menus and images of fish swimming in a tank. Customers can order sushi by touching the screen, even using voice commands. The interesting part is the study element, where diners can learn about the ecology of the fish they are about to eat, adding an educational aspect to the dining experience. This system was planned for implementation around late February 2001. The page also mentions a sequel to the at-Barai compatible software Eternal Arcadia called Hand Red Sword. This is described as a network battle simulation game. The at-Barai version of Hand Red Sword is scheduled for release on February 8th for 980 yen, with the unlock key available from February 15th. It mentions that if you have a network connection and web money or a credit card, you can easily purchase and enjoy the full game. The first game in the at-Barai series, Eternal Arcadia, was released in October 2000, and this sequel is arriving just 3 months later. The next page highlights the launch of a new company called Sega Access, focused on network games and browser development. Sega Access aims to provide platforms and content for various devices beyond just game consoles, like PCs and mobile phones. They are developing internet browser software, middleware, and communication modules. There's an announcement for Happy Lesson music and drama CDs that are only available through mail order. Purchasing the CDs will also get you special gifts. The page promotes the Osaka Character Festival 2001, which is happening in January at ATC Hall in Osaka on the 13th and 14th. This event features anime and game characters, with booths from companies like Broccoli and SoftBank Publishing. Popular voice actors are scheduled to appear. There is also a contest to win tickets to the Tokyo Game Show 2001 Spring. 20 pairs of tickets are up for grabs. The Tokyo Game Show is scheduled from March 30th to April 1st at Makuhari Messe. Finally, there's a GameSpot ranking of the top 5 news stories now out. Number 1 is the PS2 launch. Number 2 is the Xbox announcement by Microsoft. Number 3 is Nintendo's GameCube reveal. Number 4 is Final Fantasy IX's release. Number 5 is Sega's new strategy, emphasizing their commitment to network businesses and corporate transformation. GameSpot reports that during the Xbox and GameCube announcements, there was significant overseas interest and high levels of attention. This page talks about the PC release of the popular Dreamcast game Seaman, highlighting its network capabilities and voice recognition using IBM technology. They mention the upcoming release of version 1.2 with enhanced features. There's also news about a Grandia radio program, likely promoting the RPG series, including Grandia 2, broadcasting on Cultural Radio, featuring voice actress Noriko Hidaka. The page introduces an online event for the horror game Illbleed, called Michael Reynolds Horror Town, on isao.net. This online horror experience is said to be quite challenging, emphasizing the difficulty of surviving all 5 stages. Compile is launching Caravan stage content for eMode mobile phones, featuring Puyo Puyo characters. This service lets users download wallpapers and create greeting cards. Finally, there is information about an event at Namja Town Amusement Park celebrating new adults, offering discounts for those who bring old toys or electronics. The page also provides an amusement park access guide listing various locations with address and access information. This page announces the PC release of Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, as a limited edition of 10,000 copies, including a Sakura-colored mouse, following the Dreamcast version's success. Alongside this, The House of the Dead 2 is also coming to PC, accompanied by a new light gun controller. The PC version is set for release on January 25th, with a limited run of 5,000 controllers available in both ISA and USB connection types. There's a goods and presents section, where readers can win Tokimeki Memorial 2 merchandise, specifically pins and car-shaped cleaners, through a giveaway for 3 lucky winners each. The page highlights upcoming Dreamcast events. First, there is the Sakura Wars Imperial Opera Company New Spring Song Show, running from January 5th to 18th in Tokyo, with various showtimes and ticket prices. Fighting Vipers 2 is having storefront demo events on January 6th, 8th, and 11th in Osaka, Fukuoka, and Tokyo respectively, at different times. An online event, the Sega Marine Fishing Quiz AHA Goddess Cup, is scheduled from January 9th to 23rd. Lastly, the Dreamaga Grand Prix for the Dreamcast Magazine 2000 Awards is now open for online voting. Finally, there is information about the Masked Rider Live 2000 event, with news of a DVD and video release planned for April 21st, featuring the band Rider Chips, and commemorating the 30th anniversary of Kamen Rider. The CD, Let's Go! Rider KICK 2000 Ver, by Rider Chips, is also highlighted as being on sale. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guide for the Dreamcast game, Mercurius Pretty, End of the Century. It highlights that the guide contains everything players need to know about the game, including basic gameplay, how to raise homunculi, parameter details, and event information. The guide promises to explain how to nurture your homunculus and understand all aspects of the game. This week's Dreamcast software sales chart is led by Guilty Gear X, a new fighting game praised for its gameplay. Project Justice, last week's top seller, drops to second, followed by new entries El Dorado Gate Volume 2 and Samba de Amigo Ver 2000 at third and fourth respectively. Power Smash, Virtua Tennis, falls to fifth. New entries Doki Doki Idol Star Seeker Remix, a browser game, and Quiz Ah, Goddess Sama are at 6th and 7th. Capcom vs. SNK is at 8th, while Sakura Wars 2 is at 9th, still selling strongly. Finally, El Dorado Gate Volume 1 rounds out the top 10. This page showcases the Dreamcast anticipated title Top 30 ranking. At number 1 is Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, an adventure game developed by Sega, noting its high anticipation and asking, when will it be released? With comments on interviews and high levels of completion. Shenmue 2 is ranked second, also by Sega, described as full reactive eyes entertainment, with the text, we've been waiting, mentioning interviews and new information for Shenmue 2 and Shenmue the movie. Sonic Adventure 2 takes the third spot, another Sega title, celebrating its 10th anniversary this year and asking, will people who bought the first PSO play Sonic 2? The page then lists games ranked from 4th to 30th, with details including release dates, developers, and points. Some notable titles in the list include Eve 0, Arc of the Matter at 4th, Sega Gaga at 6th, Super Robot Tyson Alpha at 7th, Fighting Vipers 2 at 8th, Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Version, Resident Evil Code, Veronica X at 10th, Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future, Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future at 13th, Ill Bleed at 19th, and 100 Swords at 17th. The weekly pickup section highlights Canvas Sepia Theme, a romance simulation game from NEC Interchannel, emphasizing its Windows version and the emotional depth of the campus love story. The other pickup is Gundam Network Battle, tentative title, noting it is a network-enabled Gundam simulation game with fan anticipation. This page reveals the Dreamcast anticipated title, Top 20, as voted for by readers. At number 1 is AIR, followed by Nights into Dreams in second place, then the Shining Force series, and the King of Fighters 2000. The ranking includes other notable titles like Grandia, Burning Rangers, Princess Crown, Metal Gear Solid, and Daytona USA 2. The page also features a ranking of the top 15 high-sturning arcade games. In the weekly pickup section, Cybertroopers Virtual On-Force is highlighted as Coming Soon, described as a versus battle simulation game, receiving positive feedback from location tests and using custom boards. Another Coming Soon title is Spiker's Battle, a cooperative game being transformed into a versus fighting game for the NAOMI arcade board, with anticipation for a Dreamcast version. Screenshots of gameplay are shown for both titles. This page lists upcoming Dreamcast software and hardware releases, spanning from January to April 2001 and beyond. January highlights include the Shoot 'em Up GigaWing 2, fighting games Fighting Vipers 2, and Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. February sees the release of Metropolis Street Racer, Sega Bass Fishing 2, known as Fish Eyes Wild, and the strategy game 100 Swords, alongside a Doraemon adventure and a golf title. March features Resident Evil Code, Veronica X, also known as Biohazard Code, Veronica Kanzenban, and Ill Bleed, as well as Wave Race. Blue Storm, here listed as Powerjet Racing 2001, plus a variety of visual novel titles. April includes Ready 2 Rumble Boxing, Round 2, and NBA 2K2, listed as NBA HOOP2. Titles scheduled for release sometime in 2001 include Shenmue 2, Baldur's Gate, Outrigger, and Aquapanic, plus Woody Woodpecker Racing, and The Grinch. There are also many Japan-exclusive titles, spanning genres like RPG, adventure, simulation, and puzzle, including visual novels such as Comic Party and Sentimental Prelude, alongside pachinko and mahjong games, and even a Sega Saturn RPG called Sega. A zip drive peripheral is listed under hardware releases. This page showcases the Reader's Choice Dreamcast ranking. It's a reader-voted top 30 list of Dreamcast software. At the top spot is Soul Calibur, followed by Biohazard Code, Veronica, and then Kowloon's Gate Reemergence. Other highly ranked titles include Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia, Power Smash, Grandia 2, Crazy Taxi, and Popsin Music 4 Append Disc. Kanon and J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wotsukuru, are also in the top 10, alongside Golf Shiuyo. The page also features a new Challenger review section, focusing on Guilty Gear X. The review praises the diverse and unique characters and the refined battle system. It highlights the beautiful graphics and impressive sound. The reviewer notes the Dreamcast version includes original GG mode elements, extra colors, and hidden features, making it very appealing to fans. They mention it is considered a top-class 2D fighting game, comparing it to the Capcom vs. SNK series. The review includes comments from players, praising the game's depth, character-specific gameplay, and addictive nature. Some minor criticisms are mentioned about the sound effects and difficulty balance, but overall, the game is highly recommended for both fighting game veterans and newcomers, emphasizing the quality of the 2D representation on Dreamcast and enjoyable gameplay. This page continues with the New Arrival Rival Horse Introduction 2 section, showcasing newly released Dreamcast games. First up is Time Stalkers, known in Japan as Time and Tide, ranked 52nd. It's an adventure game praised for its anime-like presentation and engaging story. Reviewers highlight the well-crafted world, good balance of action and scenario, and impressive ocean visuals in the action parts. While some mention the difficulty being a bit high, the overall satisfaction is noted as positive. Player comments reinforce the enjoyment of the world and story. Next is El Dorado Gate, ranked 140th, a role-playing game. The review emphasizes the intricate story, strong character interactions, and multiple branching paths, and it mentions some difficulty related to item usage. Player feedback focuses on the compelling story and character development as highlights of the game. Finally, we have Project Justice, known in Japan as Moyo, Justice Gakuen, and listed as Burn. Justice Academy in the magazine, ranked 135th. This is an action game, specifically a fighting game, celebrated for its characters, technical depth, and humorous elements. The review points out the exciting 3D graphics, character editing features, and deep gameplay. Player comments praise the fun gameplay, variety of modes, and fast-paced battles. Some mention the Passionate Youth Diary mode being a bit challenging in terms of character progression. Overall, it's presented as a highly enjoyable and engaging fighting game experience. This page focuses on Virtua Tennis, known in Japan as Power Smash, presenting it as a must-have Dreamcast title. The article emphasizes the game's Dreamcast exclusive features, including online play, additional game modes like Exhibition, World Circuit, and Network mode, supporting up to 4 players online. The review highlights the game's simple controls and deep gameplay, mirroring the arcade version, but with added elements. It mentions the excitement of online matches and the game's accessibility for beginners. The reviewer praises the realistic graphics for an arcade tennis game and the addictive gameplay loop. Player comments mention the engaging online play and the strategic team-based doubles matches. Below this article is a ranking list of Dreamcast software, continuing from the previous page. It includes games with scores and brief descriptions, spanning from rank 98 to 164. Some of the notable games listed within this section are Vermilion Desert, Mars Matrix, Spawn, In the Demon's Hand, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Mysteria, The Realms of Lore 2, Blazing Heroes in the US, Gigawing, Jet Coaster Dream, Gunbird 2, Ueno Hako Cruxlure, possibly a typo for Einhander, Psychic Force 2012, Dynamite Deca 2, Die Hard Arcade 2, Framegride, F1 World Grand Prix for Dreamcast, and Fighting Vipers 2. The list provides scores and brief details like genre and price for each game. This page details Dreamcast software rankings from 162 to 257, covering various genres. Included are titles like Street Fighter II, Double Impact, and Tokyo Extreme Racer 2. The rankings include title, genre, price, and reviews. Commentary sections analyze market trends. The B2D review discusses title movements, including the rise of Dogu Sengi, Battleground King, and the competitiveness of the market, with a horror game screenshot. The E-Review questions the future of the Dreamcast market and struggles of lower-ranked titles. A software scheduled to rank in soon. Action previews anticipated games, including CC Sakura and Sega character games, with a focus on the rising prevalence of online catalog purchases and a hopeful outlook for future Dreamcast gaming experiences. This report covers recent Dreamcast game reviews and reader feedback. Phantasy Star Online is highly praised for its character creation, single-player mode, and online features. Other reviews highlight Detective Jinguji Saburo Dash, Sakatsuku Special Big Issue, and Daytona USA 2001, with varying scores. Reader opinions include requests for game features in Virtual On Force, concerns about Sega, discussion of Sega's success and fan rivalries, and game preferences. The peripheral ranking based on reader votes is also included. The next issue will feature a big title rush, with Phantasy Star Online highlighted. A contest allows readers to predict game rankings and win prizes, including peripherals and software sets, and winners from a previous contest are announced. Instructions for participating are provided. This page features Dreamcast game reviews from Dreamcast Magazine. It covers 2 games, Jet Set Radio and Fighting Vipers 2. For Jet Set Radio, reviewers provide comments from different perspectives. A female user reviewer noted that it would be better with more added elements and gave it a score of 7. The writer in charge stated they never get tired of playing it and awarded a 9. A guest writer mentioned the spots are cute, dog-like character design, scoring it a 6. The game received an average score of 7.33. The review highlights the game as a new JSR experience, mentioning stages, added player characters, and enhanced graffiti. Fighting Vipers 2 is also reviewed. A female user reviewer praised the ability to practice techniques, giving it an 8. The writer in charge commented on its late release, but still scored it a 9. A guest writer noted that Super KO isn't scary at home, and also gave it a 9. The average score is 8.66. The review emphasizes the game's revival after 2.5 years, highlighting the VF system and new elements like team battles and a training mode. Overall, the page presents reviews for these 2 Dreamcast titles, with scores and brief comments from different reviewer perspectives. The next page is a preview for Denu Senki Virtual On Force, which is known internationally as Cyber Troopers Virtual On Force. This latest installment in the Virtual On series, announced at the end of the year, introduces 2-on-2 team battles for up to 4 players simultaneously. The preview highlights that 1-on-1 battles were perfected in the previous game, Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, but Force drastically changes the format to 2-on-2 team battles on the same battlefield. The page details the new leader machine rule system. In this system, each team of 2 machines designates one as the leader machine. The first team to reduce the opponent's leader machine's life gauge to 0 wins. Even if the partner machine still has 100% life, losing the leader machine results in defeat. Alternatively, if the time limit expires, the team with the higher combined life gauge of both machines wins. The preview emphasizes that choosing the leader machine strategically is crucial, suggesting players discuss their roles within the team before battles. Screenshots showcase in-game action, with mecha robots battling in a 3D arena. The game is developed by Sega/Hitmaker and is described as a fighting battle simulation for 2 to 4 players, utilizing custom boards. This page continues the preview of Cyber Troopers Virtual On Force, the latest entry in the Virtual On series, and focuses on the new 2-on-2 team battle system. Director Nobuyuki Yamashita is interviewed, detailing the game's development and concept. He explains that the focus has shifted to 2-on-2 battles, emphasizing teamwork and strategy, moving beyond the 1-on-1 focus of Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. The development team are the same as before, ensuring continuity. The location tests have been successful, with players quickly grasping the 2-on-2 dynamic. The Force title signifies this new direction in the series. The page highlights the importance of understanding screen information in Force, detailing the various UI elements and their functions. Life gauges for both player and opponent teams, lock-on warnings, radar for enemy positions, and a leader indicator to identify the team leader. These elements are crucial for team-based, strategic gameplay. There are also changes to the controls, including the introduction of the rescue dash, activated with the start button, and the removal of the two-stage sliding shot. Button layouts for attacks, jumps, dashes, guards, rescue dashes, and target switching are also explained and illustrated with controller diagrams. The location test version featured 6 machines: Temujin, Fei Yen, Raiden, Apeharm the Hatter, Zegrat, and Voxmiser. The next page continues the Cyber Troopers Virtual Aeon Force preview, focusing on gameplay points for the 2-on-2 battles. It highlights 3 key strategic elements: leader machine actions, rescue dash, and target switching. Firstly, the page emphasizes that the leader machine's performance is crucial to victory. It explains that focusing attacks on the enemy leader is a key strategy in 2-on-2 matches. Secondly, the rescue dash is detailed as a way to redistribute life gauge energy between teammates, activated by pressing start and touching a teammate. Finally, target switching is presented as a strategic move, achievable by pressing both turbo buttons, allowing players to coordinate attacks with their teammate, especially when communicating. Screenshots illustrate these points with in-game action, showing leader designation, rescue dash execution, and target switching. The page also mentions jamming waves, a mechanic where incapacitated enemy units emit jamming waves for a short period, hindering automatic lock-on and encouraging manual aiming. Finally, the page promotes Hitmaker's homepage, indicating that limited-time Force content was available there following location tests at the end of last year, and that unexpected news could appear there, advising players to check it regularly for Sega Gaga-related information. The website address http://www.hitmaker.co.jp/ is provided. This page is an advertisement for Capcom's Reject Force. It highlights the game's reflective force mechanic and emphasizes aiming for victory in Kyoto. The page also mentions the inclusion of an original 4P mode for Dreamcast, enabling 4-player battles, and promises that invincible Gigawings will appear. It boasts a super score system with item Vulcan cannon explosions, and challenges players to achieve a high score and upload it to their homepage. The advertisement features artwork of characters and mecha fighters in action. This page is an advertisement for Capcom's Dreamcast game, Gigawing 2, a hyperinflation shooting game. It encourages players to go for the gazillion score and highlights the game's reflective power mechanic, allowing players to dive into a storm of bullets. The advert mentions the game's setting in the Sylvania Republic and showcases screenshots of gameplay and character selection from this sequel, announcing the release date as January 18, 2001. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Grandia Parallel Trippers. The advert's main text encourages players to set off on a journey with us, and the page features a large group of anime-style characters from the game gathered together, with the game's logo prominently displayed at the bottom. Grandia Parallel Trippers was released exclusively in Japan for the Dreamcast. This page is an advertisement for the Game Boy Color game Grandia Parallel Trippers, which is touted as a brand new entry in the Grandia series, and the first on the Game Boy platform. It highlights the return of familiar characters as allies, including Justin and Sue, in a grand adventure story set in a parallel world with a total of 28 characters. The gameplay features action cards and strategic battles. The release date is noted as November 22, 2001, with a price of 4,500 yen. The page also advertises Momotaro Dentetsu 1+2 for Game Boy Color, promoting it as an RPG centered around love, courage, and friendship, marking the first appearance of the Momotaro series on Game Boy. This game is scheduled for release in December 2001, at a price of 4,300 yen. Sega AM is hosting a second-term charity auction on Segam.com, ending January 8, 2001, featuring rare items and opportunities to interact with game developers. The auction, which began December 22, 2000, offers a last chance at secret items from planning projects, including a Dreamcast console, games, and merchandise. Departments such as AM2, known for racing games, are offering items related to their titles. Amusement Vision is contributing merchandise. Other departments offering items or experiences include Sega Mechataro Research and Development, WOW Entertainment, offering a challenge, Hitmaker, featuring a Virtua Chiron figure, Sega Rosso, offering gameplay, and Sega AM Marketing, offering a tapestry. The auction highlights items marked as rare or super rare, and Miyahara Shiori from Sega's e-commerce department hopes users will enjoy the diverse offerings from various companies. Quote, Namco Namjatown offers a unique Nanja wedding experience. a first-of-its-kind wedding ceremony and reception held within the theme park. The service provides a heartwarming and dreamlike wedding surrounded by characters. Various plans cater to different budgets, from the standard plan with a chapel ceremony and character appearances, to the stage plan featuring performances, and the lavish party plan combining ceremony and reception. Additional plus options enhance the experience with customized meals, performances, and memorial gifts. Mr. Uchikura Osamu from Namco explains the concept was born from the growing popularity of weddings, with Namco aiming to offer a distinctive, couple-focused celebration within Namjatown. The park aims to create a joyous environment for all attendees. Contact details are provided for booking inquiries. This page is about upcoming events to celebrate the new century, 2001, and also game-related events. It mentions various events scheduled for 2001, including the opening of the Internet Expo, NASA launches, the H-2A rocket launch, the completion of Japan's largest Ferris wheel, and addressing the Y2K computer problem. Other events include the launch of a space station, the opening of Universal Studios Japan, the Robot Olympics, the opening of Tokyo Disney Sea, the start of space tourism, the financial Big Bang reform, the Earth Simulator project, the completion of Shanghai's financial center, the introduction of Java-compatible E-mode, connecting all schools to the internet, and the release of a bipedal robot. The page then highlights game events, noting that game industry events are also planned. It lists events such as the Amusement Machine Show, Game Boy Advance release, Game Dealers Conference, Tokyo Game Show 2001, E3 2001, and the release of the Xbox. It also mentions Microsoft participating in game shows this year, suggesting overseas game shows will be exciting. The page encourages readers to check DC Dreamcast for more details. In a 2001 interview, DigiCube's Fuminori Kurokawa reflected on the struggling game industry of 2000, pointing to the underwhelming launch of the PlayStation 2, primarily used for DVDs. He observed a shift in media consumption towards mobile phones and the internet, with amusement facilities adapting. Kurokawa stressed the importance of engaging gameplay over commercial hype. He critiqued the industry's focus on network capabilities over fun game design, questioning the necessity of dedicated consoles, suggesting PCs or PDAs as potential platforms. He believed the essence of entertainment remained, but its expression needed evolution. The interview, illustrated with Phantasy Star Online screenshots, discussed online gaming's future and the uncertainties surrounding the next generation of consoles, hinting at high-spec hardware or network games as possibilities. This is an advertisement for a Dreamcast giveaway offering 7 prizes. The prizes include a 1-year subscription to Dreamcast Magazine, 10 winners, a rare Super Black Dreamcast console, 1 winner, a pure black keyboard and VMU set, 10 winners, a luxurious Sakura Wars Dreamcast set for internet use, 3 winners, a Sakura Wars themed controller, 3 winners, a DreamEye set for video calls, 3 winners, and a set of Pearl Color Dreamcast controllers, 5 winners. The prizes are a mix of software, hardware, and accessories, highlighting both the console's functionality and its appeal to collectors. This page continues the Dreamcast giveaway promotion, showcasing more prizes to power up your Dreamcast life. Item 8 offers a set of Pearl Color visual memory units in 3 colors, including the popular Pearl Blue, for 5 winners. Item 9 is the Overseas Dreamcast set, perfect for importing games, including a Dreamcast console, controller, and a game, for 3 winners. Item 10 presents a rare Biohazard model Dreamcast, in clear red, a brand new console for 1 lucky winner. Item 11 is a Capcom special set for 5 winners, featuring an ASC2 Pad FT controller Capcom version, a Capcom VM, and a 3-game software set of Capcom titles exclusively for D-Direct, including Vampire Chronicle for matching service, Net de Tennis, which was never released outside of Japan, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Item 12 is a stylish silver metallic Dreamcast controller, released on November 2nd at D-Direct, with 10 available. Lastly, Item 13 is a DJI Chariot Web Money Card, worth 2,000 yen, described as a 21 ST Century essential item, also for 10 winners. To enter, applicants need to send a postcard with their details, including desired prize and item name, with the deadline being January 26, 2001. This page introduces a special event called DC License vs Dream Magazine, a battle featuring gravure idol Risa Tani against the Dream Magazine editorial staff, named the Samba Team, consisting of 7 members. The Samba team members are presented with masked personas and descriptions, including Masquerade 1, 2, 3, Black, Izagomen, and Fujipan. The contest rules involve games such as Samba de Amigo and Janken, Rock, Paper, Scissors. Round 1 focuses on a kawaii competition between Risatani and the Samba team, with images of them participating in a lively event. The page indicates that the purpose of this event is to win Reader Presents and invites reader participation. It is mentioned that the readers were chosen as targets from gravure idols and sexy idols like Risatani, and the editorial team gathered to decide the winner of the license versus competition. This page covers rounds 2 and 3 of the DC License vs Dream Magazine competition. Round 2 is called Gravity Hook People and features NEC Interchannel against Black from the Dream Magazine editorial team. They play Let's Play Blackbeard and a game called Separation. It's mentioned that the NEC Interchannel representative is Yamazaki, and Black is also known as Yamazaki-san. The text mentions Pia Carrot e Yukoso 2.5 from NEC Interchannel as a heart-throbbing simulation game that was released in March 2001, and the retail price is still to be determined. Round 3 is titled New Assassin Appears and features KID vs Isagomen from the Dream Magazine editorial team. They compete in Janken Pon, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and Earth Hell. The representative for Kid is Nagaoka, and Isagomen is also known as Nagaoka-san. The game Never 7, The End of Infinity from KID, is highlighted as a love adventure game that was released in December 2000, priced at 6,800 yen. It is noted as a serious love adventure game that will touch your heart. It's also mentioned that KID has a special one-page feature in the next issue, dated January 19th. This page covers rounds 4, 5, and 6 of the DC License vs Dream Magazine competition. Round 4 features an online rock, paper, scissors battle between Aquaplus and Fujipan, with prizes like trading cards and posters for 20 winners. Round 5 pits Sammy against the Sanba squad in a slot machine and pachinko competition, highlighting games like Let's Slot and mentioning Guilty Gear X. Round 6 is a Sega promotion, offering Tokyo Joyopolis tickets to 10 winners. Game information boxes detail Comic Party, unreleased, Guilty Gear X, released in December 2000, and Guilty Gear Zex, released February 14, 2001, with a Dreamcast version in development. To enter the prize draws, postcards were required by January 26, 2001. The next page is a New Year's greeting from Sega and various creators for 2001, focusing on the Dreamcast. It's a special scoop project looking into what's coming in the 21st century and 2001 for the Dreamcast. First, Sega reflects on the past year, mentioning changes within the company and expressing enthusiasm for the new year. They hint at upcoming news and content, suggesting readers should stay tuned. The D-Direct section talks about new projects and expresses eagerness for the current year. They aim to enhance their online shopping experience and provide convenient services, emphasizing listening to user feedback and creating original merchandise. They mention strengthening iMode version D-Direct and aiming for a more interesting online shop, inviting readers to look forward to it. The NetAt section discusses the NetAt service run by Entertainment Stage. They are planning a restart for spring, indicating it was paused or not fully operational previously. They emphasize content enrichment as the key to their revival and ask for continued support. A screenshot of the NetAt service interface is shown. Finally, Dream Library discusses its future. It states that new content is coming and that the LAN-compatible distribution service is planned to restart around late March. They clarify that while LAN compatibility is the main focus, improvements to other elements are not specifically planned. They reassure users that homepage updates and free trial corners will continue to be accessible. A screenshot of the Dream Library interface is included. This 2001 New Century New Year Special Scoop project highlights greetings from 5 Dreamcast licensees. Arbel, with Always with Surprise and Excitement, celebrates the successful launch of their first Dreamcast game, Tante Jinguji Saburo, Innocent Black, and plans to release more mystery games this year. Afeki's message, using Laughter Will Bring Happiness, wishes a Happy New Year. Aqua Plus, with Dreamcast is 10,000 years old, celebrates the release of Comic Party and plans to create more games. RPA's greeting, centered on New Year's Day, Shedding Skin, focuses on launching new projects and continuing existing ones. Finally, ISAO with 2001 ISAO.net will connect the world, focuses on network games, positioning itself as a provider of PC online games, network games, and content delivery, connecting Japanese users to the world. This page is a collection of New Year greetings from various Dreamcast software companies for 2001. Winkysoft wishes everyone a spirited new year and is currently working hard on game development. Ecole Software aims to reach a global audience and plans to release a couple of new titles this year. Lumia Soft, with their unique style, mentions their game Cult Sept Second Wind and encourages players to enjoy their games in the 21st century. Kid, expressing high hopes for sales, mentions their game Close 2, and wonders if Saturn fans will embrace Dreamcast games. Caramel Pot emphasizes space, network, and the exciting possibilities of online gaming, looking forward to exploring new network game ideas. Kadokawa Shoten advertises their Dreamcast software related to the movie Inugami, scheduled for release on January 1, 2001. Lastly, Kiri Games promotes Brother Cut Grass and mentions their Road to Dragon God Descends game, which received positive feedback and teases a sequel in development. Game developers offer New Year greetings, with several highlighting upcoming titles. Climax Graphics promotes Ill Bleed, a horror adventure launching in March 2001. Sammy Corporation anticipates a century of excitement, focusing on user feedback and network gaming, with Guilty Gear X mentioned. Game Arts offers simple well wishes. CRI is excited about communication in games, mentioning Aero Dancing Ed and Power Strike Training 2001, and praises the Dreamcast. Genki thanks players for Shutoku Battle 2's success and aims for chart-topping titles, including Super Magnetic Neo Neo. Syscom Entertainment, under Shimokura Joe, teases new gameplay with Slot Game and Vigilante 8, hinting at secrets and network play. Koei announces Kessen 2 and other titles in development. Several game developers share New Year greetings and aspirations for the 21st century. Sims is releasing Harusumi Sunday for Dreamcast, praising the hardware and hinting at overseas expansion. Sega Toys focuses on fusing digital and analog elements, with games like Big Klima Viba and Boku Doraemon in development. Seta hopes to revitalize the industry, despite not yet having Dreamcast titles. Japan Corporation emphasizes creating platform-specific games, including Nijiro Tenshi. Shinwa Publishing hints at unannounced titles and overseas expansion. Softmax aims for global success with Let's Golf 2 and other titles. Studio Wonder Effect is focused on network titles like Battle Beaker for the Dreamcast. Daiko Electric Machine is focusing on network-based pachinko games, including the Nepapachi series. In 2001, game developers shared New Year messages reflecting on the evolving industry. Taito anticipated the 21st century, highlighting Dreamcast titles. Takara looked ahead with plans for overseas expansion. Takuyo focused on groundwork laid in 2000, with new Dreamcast games in development. Tecmo declared a start dash, showcasing Dead or Alive 2 and eyeing future consoles. Namco focused on core entertainment, thanking players and promising quality. Hackberry announced a Dreamcast pachinko game. Hudson aimed for mobile entertainment, leveraging their IPs. Datum Polystar acknowledged industry uncertainty while working on game software. These messages highlighted diverse strategies and ambitions for the new year. Several game developers offer New Year messages for the 21st century, primarily focusing on Dreamcast. Panther Software aims for enjoyable online games, while Vivarium anticipates bringing unreleased 20th century titles to the Dreamcast and hints at future auctions. Victor Interactive Software continues with titles like Tricolor Crisis and plans a new fishing game, Fish Eyes Wild. Bimbusoft hopes to create fun sports games despite industry challenges, while 45 emphasizes network integration and software development. Fog reflects on the past and considers future plans, and Disco focuses on memorable games, potentially including mobile features. Video System strives for realism and excitement in their Formula One game, emphasizing networking. The overall message wishes for peace, prosperity, and a happy new year in 2001. Various game developers shared New Year's messages regarding their Dreamcast plans for the 21st century. Microcabin, Micronet, Landho, and Riverhill Soft expressed gratitude, highlighted technological advancements, and emphasized creating engaging content. Athena and Spike aim to release high-quality, potentially network-focused games, while Midway reflected on their international Dreamcast success and sought Japanese player enjoyment. Cool Kids, Global A Entertainment, and Pacific Century Cyberworks Japan, formerly Jaleco, expressed ambition for unique titles, future projects, and network gaming. Media Entertainment planned realistic, network-compatible simulators, integrating Sega software and network features. Net Village inquired about a game's release date, and a final section contemplated the future of Sega and the Dreamcast. This page continues with New Year messages, and features an interview with Hiroi Oji from Red Company, focusing on Sakura Wars 3. Is Paris Burning? Hiroi discusses his reflections on 2000, mentioning the Sakura Project 2000, and how much time was dedicated to the Sakura Wars series. He acknowledges that the release of Sakura Wars 3 was delayed into the new year due to his responsibility, but emphasizes the hard work of the staff and expresses confidence in the game's quality. He also mentions enjoying various events in 2000, including a bridal show, and working on the Game Boy version of Sakura Wars. Regarding Sakura Wars 3, Hiroi aims to create something that evokes emotion in players, emphasizing digital and analog elements. He highlights the combination of CG and cell animation in the game, and mentions focusing on impactful lines and scenes. He also talks about wanting to create a cafe-like atmosphere in Akihabara, and experimenting with AI and virtual characters reacting to player input. The 2001 newest work, Check section highlights Sakura Wars 3 as a highly anticipated title for spring 2001, showcasing in-game screenshots featuring impressive cell animation quality for mob scenes and camera work, praising the fusion of CG and cell animation, and noting the opening movie as exceptional. Finally, the page details a creator's New Century New Year gift event, offering a signed New Year's card from Hiroi Oji and a set of Sakura Wars goods as prizes for readers. This page features an interview with Yu Suzuki, discussing his works in 2001, focusing on Shenmue 2 and Shenmue the movie. Suzuki mentions that Shenmue 2 is designed so that even players who haven't played the first Shenmue can enjoy it, but suggests playing the first game to fully appreciate the story. He highlights Shenmue the movie, a 90-minute digest film of the original Shenmue, which will be screened in cinemas from January 20th. This movie aims to give even those unfamiliar with Shenmue a taste of its world and story. Suzuki mentions he was surprised by the quality of this digest movie, exceeding his expectations. Suzuki also talks about the international version of Shenmue, which features English voice acting. He explains that native English speakers were used for voiceovers to provide natural-sounding English, suitable even for English language learning. He mentions the English version can be used as a learning tool, especially given the game's focus on conversations. The page also mentions that the Dreamcast Magazine cover features Shenmue 2 and includes screenshots from both Shenmue the movie and Shenmue 2, showing in-game scenes and character illustrations. It concludes by detailing the screening locations and dates for Shenmue the movie across Japan in January. Yu Suzuki discusses upcoming projects and the evolution of game design. He confirms official announcements for the game VFX, hinted at in Christmas cards, are planned for November. Regarding Shenmue 2, Suzuki promises a shorter wait than for the first game. He acknowledges the internet's impact on gaming, highlighting latency challenges for real-time interactions in fighting games like Virtua Fighter. Suzuki believes creativity deepens with experience, citing his shift from visual focus in earlier games like Hang-On to a more balanced approach now. He hopes to continue creating enduring, compelling games for Sega in the 21st century, while acknowledging the need for reasonable fan expectations. The page also promotes a Dreamcast New Year's campaign with Shenmue calendars and movie screenings. In this New Year's greeting, Yuji Naka of Sonic Team reflects on the year 2000 and the Dreamcast. He highlights the release of Samba de Amigo Ver .2000 and emphasizes the team's focus on live entertainment within their games, citing Samba de Amigo and Phantasy Star Online as examples. Naka anticipates the increasing importance of online gaming, praising the Dreamcast's network capabilities as ahead of its time. He envisions a future where player interaction is central, drawing inspiration from games like Street Fighter II and expanding on it with titles like Phantasy Star Online. He also looks forward to Sonic's 10th anniversary in 2001 and the release of Sonic Adventure 2. The page concludes with details on a New Year's gift promotion, offering Sonic-themed merchandise to those who submit a New Year's wish to Mr. Naka. In a 2000 interview, Shinya Nishigaki of Climax Graphics discussed the evolving game industry. He reflected on the shift towards shorter product cycles and online gaming, citing the Dreamcast as an example. Nishigaki acknowledged the challenges, especially in Japan, while aiming to create games like Illbleed with ordinary fun and global appeal. He believes adaptability is crucial for survival and sees network gaming as essential, even if it requires corporate alliances. Looking ahead, he envisioned Climax Graphics becoming a publisher, focusing on creating memorable, impactful games. Illbleed was set for release, and its demo received positive attention. The interview concluded with a New Year's gift giveaway of Star Wars character toys, reflecting Nishigaki's personal interests. Toshio Tabata of Banpresto reflects on 2000, his busiest year, dominated by Super Robot Wars releases. He discusses the ongoing development of Super Robot Wars Alpha for Dreamcast, emphasizing the pursuit of high-quality, new battle scenes, and elements, while acknowledging the delay. He assures the development environment is now stable and resource-rich. Tabata believes the core of gaming fun remains constant, despite technological shifts. A 2001 newest work check section reveals that Super Robot Wars Alpha for Dreamcast is still in development after a year and a half. Other upcoming titles from NEC Interchannel include Pia EU Koso, 2.5, Canvas, Sentimental Prelude, and more. Details on Haru Same Sunday, Monster Breeder, and the spring release of Angel Present are also highlighted, with NEC Interchannel having 6 games currently in development. This page features an interview with Noriyoshi Oba from Overworks, discussing the development of Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning, for Dreamcast. Oba reflects on the transition from Saturn to Dreamcast and highlights Overworks' focus on user satisfaction and high development capabilities within the Sega Group. He mentions the release of Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, and Sakura Wars 1 and 2 as significant titles. Sakuroba discusses the potential of Dreamcast for network gaming, mentioning their network title Guru Guru Onsen. He emphasizes Overworks' commitment to Dreamcast and Sega fans and their plans to release 34 Dreamcast titles in 2001. The 2001 newest work, check, section highlights Sakura Wars 3, stating it is near completion and aims for a spring release. Screenshots from Sakura Wars 3 and Guru Guru Onsen are shown, alongside New Year's greetings from creators, and a special New Year's card featuring artwork from Eternal Arcadia, illustrated by character designer Itsuki Hoshi, which was given away as a limited present. This page features an interview with Toshihiro Nagoshi from Amusement Vision, reflecting on the year 2000 and looking ahead to 2001. Nagoshi mentions that Daytona USA 2001 was released last year and discusses Amusement Vision's approach to game development. He talks about considering multi-platform releases from the start and the importance of clearly defining target demographics. He also touches on the potential of network features, though noting modem limitations at the time. Nagoshi discusses the balance between arcade and home console game development, stating, Amusement Vision will pursue both. He expresses interest in multi-platform development and mentions network features as a key word for the future, particularly in relation to Daytona. He also mentions the challenges of the arcade business model and the desire to create games that surpass Virtua Striker in terms of quality and impact. The 2001 newest work, check, section highlights Spiker's Battle as a new original home console game from Amusement Vision, described as a fighting action game, noting it is based on arcade game development know-how. Screenshots of Spiker's Battle are shown. Finally, there is an advertisement for a Creator's New Year gift, featuring a special jacket and posters of Planet Harriers and Slash Out as prizes. This page features an interview with Rikiya Nakagawa from WOW Entertainment, who reflects on the past year 2000 and discusses WOW's future direction. Nakagawa mentions that WOW Entertainment's operations are consistent with their previous structure, and he emphasizes focusing on creating quality content. He highlights the success of World Series Baseball 2K1, noting it achieved around 400,000 sales and was entirely developed in-house at WOW. Nakagawa also talks about future strategies, suggesting that depending on the game concept, they might consider developing for other platforms besides Dreamcast, mentioning Xbox and GameCube as possibilities, particularly for specific genres like cute character action games or realistic baseball games aimed at the American market. He acknowledges the potential of network gaming, but believes it is still in its early stages, noting Dreamcast's modem capabilities. The 2001 newest work, check, section introduces Wild Riders for Neo Mi-2 arcade hardware as a visually enhanced sequel featuring updated graphics. Finally, there's an advert for a Creator's New Year gift campaign offering posters and t-shirts as prizes, featuring artwork from Aberembo Princess, Sega Strike Fighter, and Giant Graham 2000, All Japan Pro Wrestling 3. The next page is an interview with Juro Watari from Hitmaker, the producer of the Virtual On series, mainly about their newest game, Virtual On Force, officially known as Denu Senki Virtual On Force. Watari talks about how the gameplay is evolving to focus more on multiplayer network battles and team play, differing from the one-on-one battles of previous Virtual On games. He mentions that teamwork and communication will be key in Virtual On Force. The interview also touches on the enduring appeal of the Virtual On games and the direction of the series moving forward. There are screenshots from Virtual On Force showing mecha combat, and a Creator's New Year gift section advertising Virtual On blister pack figures as prizes for readers. This page is part 2 of a Dreamcast creator interview featuring Kenji Sasaki, the representative director and president of Sega Rosso. The main topic is how to revitalize the cold arcade market in 2001, with Sasaki stating Sega Rosso will put all their efforts into this. The interview reflects on the year 2000, mentioning the launch of PS2 and how it surprisingly didn't boost the arcade market as expected. Sasaki talks about Sega Rosso focusing on planning, design, and concept for projects, aiming to release titles that are unlike anything seen before. He mentions that Sega Rosso, despite its name being Sega, is operating as a separate entity. Sasaki highlights that home console and arcade games were in a lull and acknowledges the feeling that arcades are losing popularity as customers prefer to play at home. He expresses his determination to create games that bring back the excitement to arcades. The page previews Cosmic Smash, a game released in January 2001, and mentions future titles are in development, aiming for release by March 2002. The interview hints at a racing game genre focus for Sega Rosso, starting from Star Wars-themed games to standard racing titles, further expanding into home console development. A screenshot from Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's video Daisakusen, is shown, indicating another game on the page, alongside a product shot of a Star Wars clock and a Sega Racing Factory t-shirt, offered as Creators' New Year gifts for readers. In a 2001 interview, Shun Arai of Smilebit reflected on the successful year 2000, marked by the releases of Jet Set Radio, Typing of the Dead, and Samba de Amigo. Despite the excitement and independence following their split from Sega, they maintained their work methods. Arai emphasized Smilebit's focus on quality over sensationalism, highlighting the challenging real-time network battle concept. For 2001, the primary focus is Dreamcast, particularly with the network-focused game 100 Swords. Arai is confident in its success, despite the challenging genre. While considering multi-platform releases for the future, Dreamcast's ease of development and network capabilities make it the priority. Arai declared 2001 the year of the jihad, promising to protect the company's passion. They are diversifying genres to include mobile and handheld games, with major announcements planned for spring and summer. Advertisements highlight 100 Swords network features and promotional offers. In a 2001 interview, Yukifumi Makino of Wavemaster reflects on the previous year, highlighting the success of Romania No. 203 and the surprising debut of Sarani Poji CDs tied to the game. Wavemaster is expanding beyond sound creation into game development, a shift Makino acknowledges as challenging. He aims to create unique titles and is inspired by successful games like Final Fantasy IX. Plans include potential DVD projects for Romania No. 203 and a desire to revive the Mega CD title Switch. The interview also promotes a reader prize featuring Sarani Poji CDs and other Wavemaster sound releases. A preview of their 2001 projects hints at a revival of Switch, potentially linked to Romania No. 203, and a soundtrack release for PSO on January 24th. The next page features an interview with Tetsuya Mizuguchi from United Game Artists, discussing their year of silence and hinting at a new title announcement. Mizuguchi emphasizes UGA's focus on Dreamcast and their dedication to creating games with great feel. He mentions that their new game will have a strong arcade vibe. The interview touches upon the potential of network features and how UGA is exploring ways to integrate them into their games to create engaging content, though he is cautious and highlights that network is not everything. Mizuguchi expresses confidence in their new project, particularly in the design and music, stating that they are creating something unique that others cannot imitate. Screenshots from Space Channel 5 are displayed, featuring Ulala in action. The page also announces a prize giveaway for readers, offering Space Channel 5 themed merchandise like a DJ bag, a promotional image CD, and rare overseas novelty items. This page features an interview with Kojiro Oguchi from Hitmaker, discussing the evolving landscape of games in the 21st century. Oguchi reflects on the past year, 2000, mentioning titles like Crazy Taxi on Dreamcast, Power Smash, and Kraken DJ, all of which he believes were well received. He notes Power Smash is not yet utilizing online features, but anticipates network connectivity to become more common as internet access becomes more widespread in households. Looking ahead, Oguchi sees interactive elements becoming increasingly important. He feels a sense of crisis in just focusing on traditional game consoles and is exploring broader entertainment avenues. He mentions Sega's Phantasy Star Online, PSO, as an example of a game that has online appeal and hints at the potential of BS digital broadcasting for interactive entertainment, even though it's not internet-based. Regarding Hitmaker's future, Oguchi stresses the importance of creating games that are uniquely Hitmakers and can't be easily imitated. He points to the success of Derby Owners Club in arcades and aims to build upon that, not just ending with its arcade success. The page also highlights Derby Owners Club as a 2001 newest work check, showcasing a screenshot of the game. Finally, there is a section advertising Hitmaker's New Century Lucky Bag, which includes merchandise from their popular games like Confidential Mission, Kraken DJ, Power Smash, and Derby Owners Club, as gifts from Hitmaker for the new century. Oguchi's keyword for 2001 is about the future becoming a reality as the 21st century begins. This page is an advertisement for the romance simulation game, Canvas. Announced at the Happy Together December event and published by NEC Interchannel, Canvas is a new title slated for release on Windows in November, with a projected March release date mentioned in the game data. The advertisement highlights it as a school romance simulation game, featuring artwork of several of the anime-style female characters from the game. This page reveals that Cocktail Soft's heartwarming romance sim, Canvas Sepia-themed motif, which was originally released for Windows, is coming to Dreamcast as a quick port. It's set in autumn and centers around a protagonist and high school girls. The game follows a multi-scenario structure, taking place over about 2 in-game weeks. The story focuses on the protagonist, an art student, who faces a challenge from the headmaster at his art-focused school: achieve a certain result in the upcoming art competition, or lose his special student privileges. He's been drawing since childhood and is very talented, but now finds his artistic path at a crossroads. The Dreamcast version boasts 2 key enhancements. Firstly, all message text will be fully voiced, unlike the original PC release. Secondly, a brand new character is being added to the roster. The Windows version had 5 main romanceable characters, but the Dreamcast version will feature 6, with this new character being exclusive to the Dreamcast release and promising a unique scenario. The developer emphasizes that the Dreamcast edition is a step up from the PC version, even surpassing PIA 2, with expanded storylines for sub-characters and more overall content. The next page introduces 2 of the heroines from Canvas. Sepia-themed motif. It highlights girls you meet at Nadeshiko Academy and poses the question, who will be the motif of the last painting? First up is Amane Tachibana, the childhood friend. She is described as someone who is cheerful and doesn't show any hint of darkness. A pure and innocent childhood friend type who is in the same year as the protagonist. She's straightforward and honest, sometimes naive to the world. Her profile lists her height at 156 centimeters, weight at 43 kilograms, measurements as B80, W58, H82, blood type AB, and birthday as February 22nd. Next is Ren Sakurazuka, introduced with the phrase, yesterday a stranger, today, suggesting a new family relationship. She is depicted as a mature and kind older sister type, despite being a year younger than the protagonist. She's described as someone who was originally unrelated to the protagonist, but became family due to their parents' remarriage. Her profile states her height at 153 centimeters, weight at 43 kilograms, measurements as B85, W54, H82, blood type B, and birthday as October 14th. Screenshots show in-game scenes featuring these characters. This introduction highlights 3 heroines from Canvas. Sepia-themed motif. Yurina Kimikage, a quiet senior, loves flowers and spends her time in the rooftop garden. Despite her reserved demeanor, she's friendly and devoted to those she trusts. Yuzu Nanashi, a tomboyish girl in the protagonist's grade, is often mistaken for a boy due to her appearance. She is athletic and a fan of the protagonist's artwork. Miyabi Shinomiya, a kind and reliable history teacher, is popular with students due to her gentle and approachable nature. She is responsible and caring, though can be clumsy when relaxed. Each character's profile includes height, weight, measurements, blood type, and birthday. This page is a game preview for Pia-e-Yukoso 2, also known as Pia-2 in English, a popular romance simulation game. It is being ported to the Dreamcast from the Game Boy Color, enhanced with improved graphics and additional content. The game is described as a simulation game, with a release date in March and published by NEC Interchannel. The preview highlights the three main characters, middle school girls named Tomomi, Yuki, and Noriko, who are central to the story. It is suggested that fans should play the original Pia game first, before diving into 2.5 or 2. The page also includes screenshots of the game and lists a website address for NEC Interchannel. This page announces Pia-e-Yukoso 2.5, also known as Pia 2.5 for the Dreamcast. It is highlighted as Part 2.5 and a special scoop report, with the game being 70% complete. Pia 2.5 is described as a combination of the Saturn version of Pia 2 and the Game Boy Color version of Pia 2.2, enhanced with improved graphics. It's emphasized that while the main story remains the same, the gameplay feel will be closer to Pia 2. New scenarios and events that were not possible in Pia 2.2 are being added. Key features include full voice acting using the same cast as Pia 2, a unified gameplay experience consistent with Pia 2, meaning mini-games from the Game Boy Color version are now optional. There are also 3 uniform variations to choose from, a feature limited in the Game Boy Color version due to storage, but fully available on Dreamcast, including an idle-type uniform. Furthermore, original events are increased, adding more volume to the Dreamcast version with new scenarios not present in the previous versions. A quote from the producer mentions that Pia is known for its uniforms and highlights Reina's character, suggesting players should look forward to content related to her uniforms and activities. This page talks about Pia 2 and its connection to Pia 2.2, focusing on the theme of a summer part-time job that leads to a love story in Pia 2. It introduces Tomomi Aizawa, a character who admires the Pia uniform and is described as bright and energetic, calling the protagonist Oni-san, older brother. There's a game system section explaining how the part-time job roles and parameters change in the game. It mentions various job roles like cashier, cooking, dishwashing, and waiter, and how assigning roles affects parameters like appearance and steadiness. The page also addresses an expression problem, noting differences between the Dreamcast and Saturn versions regarding content rating and some scene modifications. It suggests the Dreamcast version has some minor content adjustments compared to the Saturn original. Finally, it discusses 3 mascot girls in Pia 2.2 and how middle school students who normally can't do part-time jobs become mascot girls as part of a campaign in the game, noting that their uniforms are similar in style. It highlights the relationship between Pia 2 and 2.2 and presumably hints at how Pia 2.5, mentioned on the prior page, connects these titles together. This page continues with Pia-e-Yukoso 2.2, focusing on the protagonist returning to Pia after 4 months since the epilogue of the previous game. The story is set in winter, and the protagonist is contemplating his future as graduation approaches and starts to wonder where he belongs. The page highlights that Pia 2.2 is a direct sequel to Pia 2, set after the summer events, and presents a love story scenario where the protagonist might not have ended up with anyone in Pia 2. It emphasizes the protagonist's reunion with familiar waitresses and suggests a destined encounter with Azusa Hinomori. The page mentions that during the part-time job, everyone lives together, and familiar characters like Yoko, Tsukasa, Mina, and Azusa are present. There is also a section about events in Pia 2.2, including Christmas campaign outfits for heroines, troubles during hand-holding at Pia and New Year's visits to shrines. It also mentions the mascot girl Yuki and the more mature Noriko, asking, which one are you interested in? Finally, it talks about Tomomi's friends, Yuki and Noriko, who were supporting characters in 2 but are now featured as capture targets in 2.2. They are described as middle school students from an escalator school, suggesting predetermined paths in life, but hints at individual struggles and stories that will be revealed in the game. This page showcases Ill Bleed, a truly unique and over-the-top horror experience on the Dreamcast. The main image screams terror, featuring one of the game's grotesque monsters wielding a flamethrower, ready to incinerate anyone foolish enough to enter its domain. The bold red Japanese text on the right reinforces this, declaring, "Experience real terror, devil breed, with the title Illbleed prominently displayed. The text on the left is a chilling command. Chase the visitors! Burn them to ashes! Setting the scene and introducing the Hunters of the Dark Night blocking the way. Below this main image is a smaller screenshot. A gruesome scene of someone lying in a pool of blood, emphasizing the game's extreme horror elements. This is a special Dorimag report, highlighting the game's development status at 72% completion, so we know this was still in production at the time of this magazine. Illbleed really pushed the boundaries of horror on the Dreamcast, delivering a wild and unforgettable ride for fans of the genre, and remains a cult classic exclusive to the system. Illbleed is a horror theme park game where players navigate terrifying attractions created by Michael Reynolds, who invested heavily to build the ultimate haunted house. The game emphasizes shock events, numerous enemies, and a constant threat of death. No one has successfully completed the park yet. Players enter attractions based on Reynolds' horror movie worlds, starting with a prologue film in one of 6 theaters. A screenshot features the Minnesota Hell Cinema and Death Calling Home Run. The game is slated for a winter release by Sega, priced yet to be decided. It is a single-player experience in the virtual horrorland genre, with support for VGA, Rumble Pack, and broadband adapter. The game contains graphic content. In Illbleed, the horror monitor is crucial for surviving the horror theme park's deadly shock events. The game's premise revolves around avoiding traps that drain health and sanity, leading to shock death. The horror monitor utilizes 4 sensors: eyesight, hearing, smell, and sixth sense to detect impending danger. Players must alert suspicious areas, triggered by the sensors, before events occur, using adrenaline to activate it. Each sensor type corresponds to a specific type of trap: visual, auditory, olfactory. Alerting players to flashing lights, sounds, or foul odors. The sixth sense detects enemies and items. Successfully alerting these areas allows players to evade the traps and avoid damage. Effective horror monitor use, therefore, is vital for strategic gameplay, resource management, and ultimately, survival within Illbleed's terrifying world. The next page continues the explanation of Illbleed's gameplay mechanics, focusing on battle and escape. It details how enemy encounters are shock events that initiate battles, prompting the player to decide whether to fight or attempt escape. The guide emphasizes using the sixth sense to detect enemies early and initiating attacks preemptively for an advantage. For escape, it describes finding heliport markers and repeatedly pressing the B button to call for a helicopter. The page also elaborates on the 4 parameters: eyesight, hearing, smell, and sixth sense, which represent the character's life force and mental fortitude. Adrenaline is highlighted as essential for triggering alerts and successfully navigating shock events. The guide warns about game overs occurring when health reaches 0. It explains that shock events elevate the heart rate, posing a danger if it gets too high, but it naturally recovers if standing still. Blood loss is another mechanic, increasing with enemy attacks. While it diminishes over time, severe blood loss can be fatal, necessitating the use of bandages. Finally, the page introduces recovery options. Emergency room. Facilities within stages allow for health and adrenaline recovery at a cost, and various recovery items can be found, such as Blue Stinger for health, injections, and bandages for blood loss. The page showcases screenshots of gameplay scenarios, item pickups like Blue Stinger, injection, and bandage, and the recovery menu. This page continues the coverage of the horror attraction game Illbleed and focuses on 2 newly revealed attractions: Woodpork Core or Woodman, and Killer Department Stores Horror. This article delves into the Woodman attraction. The Woodman attraction is set in Woodcut Village, a famous lumber production area, specifically at the Makuraren Lumber Mill, a popular tourist destination. Visitors would normally see wooden dolls and learn about lumber production. However, in this attraction, the wooden dolls, which are supposed to sing wooden doll songs when approached, suddenly become hostile and attack visitors. It seems the lumber mill has become a scene of carnage, with chainsaws and electric saws turning into weapons. The story is based on the woodpecker legend from North America and hints at a hidden secret within the village. The attraction features a giant tentacle creature that attacks visitors and can even destroy large trucks. The text suggests the tentacles are like tree roots and might be the resentment of the cut trees. The modernized lumber mill uses automated processes, but the conveyor belt carries wood that feels like human skin rather than wood. The page also includes screenshots showcasing the Woodman attraction depicting scenes of characters being attacked by the wooden doll enemies and the giant tentacle, and the player character confronting the Makararan mill manager. This page continues with the Illbleed attraction feature, showcasing Killer Department Store's horror. This attraction is set in a department store, where the deceased and vengeful store manager haunts the premises, and demonic forces possess the merchandise. Players start with prize money, but shock events throughout the store are designed to scare visitors and also deplete their funds, adding a financial element to the horror. The article highlights various themed areas within the store, like the soup corner, meat market, and toy section, each with its own set of shocking surprises. Screenshots depict enemies such as laughing onion monsters, watermelon creatures, and even animated bread and ice cream. There's also a giant cockroach descending from the ceiling for a jump scare, and a fast food area with a familiar sounding name. The text mentions the player must manage both their health and in-game money to survive this terrifying department store experience. It also notes that popular character Mary is featured and part of a campaign within this attraction. This page continues the feature on the Illbleed horror attraction, detailing aspects of its operation and staff. It explains how the mechanical enemies are controlled by skilled operators, using levers to achieve realistic movements. Even defeated enemies are efficiently removed within approximately 2 minutes to maintain the immersive haunted house experience for visitors. The page also illustrates in-game scenarios like staff members warning visitors about restricted areas, emphasizing the interactive and scary events within the attraction. It introduces the main departments of the fictional Illbleed company, including the Facility Operation Department, responsible for trap management and adjusting traps to avoid giving prizes to visitors. The Corpse Disposal Department manages the remains of deceased visitors, noting a high death rate of 50,000 per day. The Planning and Development Department focuses on realizing Reynolds' trap ideas and ensuring they pass rigorous testing. Finally, the Cast Department reveals that 24% of the staff are monster actors who dress up in costumes and are frequently defeated by visitors. There's also a message to all guardians, which explains that while the content seems gruesome, it describes the business operations of the Illbleed theme park and reassures parents that dedicated staff ensure its safe operation. It also includes a playful message saying, "Killer men are real." The page features images of in-game scenes and staff members, including Larry Cunningham, the Facility Operation Department Section 5 Chief, and Jeff Goldrick from the same department, Section 5. This page continues the feature on the horror-themed Dreamcast game Illbleed, focusing on the staff who operate the haunted house attraction. The page highlights 2 staff members, Sadao Jackson, 28, from the Facility Operation Department, Enemy 1 Section, and Richard J. Jane, 26, from the Facility Operation Department, Killerman Section. The Sadao Jackson Section, Enemy 1, seems to involve operating the in-game enemies. He is quoted as saying, "Yeah," and states he enjoys hearing visitor screams and works to startle them. He mentions using levers to control the enemies realistically and enjoys a beer after a day of successfully scaring visitors. He is described as skilled in manipulating the enemies. Richard J. Jane's section, Killerman, seems to involve playing the role of a Killerman enemy in Stage 5. He mentions that Killerman requires difficult movements, and that he was a former gymnastics athlete before joining Illbleed. He says he uses his experience to scare visitors, sending them to hell one after another. He also mentions that initially, he struggled with the hanging wheel movements but has since improved. He expresses his joy in making visitors scream. The page emphasizes the dedication of these young staff members, who are passionate about creating fear and excitement for visitors within the Illbleed attraction, highlighting their roles in the immersive horror experience. It playfully refers to their work as dark youth. This page is titled 21st Century Sega Wants to Make This, and is part of the Digital Analog Channel feature, focusing on games they want to see in the 21st century. 2 characters, Uzu and Maki-chan, are discussing this topic. Maki-chan, with the purple hat, describes wanting a Sega-like game, and notes that while simple, it is an understandable expression. She contrasts this with hardware that isn't Sega-like, and asks if there is anything else they desire from Sega. Uzu, with the orange hat, confirms there is one thing they want Sega to make right now, and questions if it is Sega-like, urging for a quick response. 3 games are highlighted with character art: Shining the Holy Ark, noting the appeal of its viewpoint; Chaos Seed, pointing out the cat carrying a shovel as a key detail, and Gunstar Heroes, praising excellent 2D action games as treasures of the 20th century. Uzu is described as an easygoing illustrator, while Maki-chan is a magician and Uzu's assistant manager who faces constant struggles due to Uzu's laid-back nature. The next page is the Reader Submission Corner, Dreamcast Square. It's celebrating the new year 2001, with readers sending in illustrations and greetings. Editor Robot Tommy's section, Viva 21st Century, features comments about editing the magazine in December, while it was still the year 2000. He thanks readers for their submissions, and mentions a previous Zeldia Zekis discussion and a headphone story from Volume 41. Readers have submitted questions. One pondering if they play too many 2D fighting games because they refer to the back row in school as the screen edge. Another reader laments that high-quality submissions are hard to comment on. The editorial team apparently discussed reader submissions using phrases like, "Aha, there are some," and questioning if some submissions were illness. The page also includes a Dream Akaga weekly schedule calendar for January 5th to 18th. It lists daily events and some associated game titles. For example, January 6th is Small Cold Day and mentions Jengu Dorukyu. January 7th is 7 Herbs with Devil Lady Beautiful Battle, and January 18th lists Giga Wing 2 and Fighting Vipers 2. January 11th mentions Monster Hunter 2, although that title was not on Dreamcast. This page continues the reader submission section, Dreamcast Square, with New Year illustrations and greetings. Readers have sent in artwork featuring Sega characters and games they want to see in the 21st century. Games like Virtua Fighter, showcasing Wolf, Sonic Adventure with Sonic, Champion Kendo, and Grandia are illustrated. Moving on, there's a section titled Dreamcast Recommended Movies Are These, Cinemas, which highlights the movie Iko Azaraku. This horror movie, based on a manga that was a hit back in 1995 as a live-action movie and a late-night TV drama. This new version is being made using completely digital production methods. The article details the movie's staff, including the director, screenplay writer, original author, and cast, and mentions a release date of April 2001. And finally, there's a movie ranking chart listing popular films for the week of December 9th to 15th, 2000. Some of the movies in the ranking include Vertical Limit, Dinosaur, What Lies Beneath, The Exorcist Director's Cut, Aurora, Charlie's Angels, 15 Years Old School IV, Titus, 100 Miles to Heaven, and Space Cowboys. This page continues the Dreamcast Square section, showcasing more reader submissions for the 21st century Dreamcast games. There's an illustration of a dragon from Shining Force, with a comment praising the cute expression of the character. Next to it is Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia, with a scene that suggests a grand adventure in a new era. Moving on, there's artwork for Sakura Wars, described as a signboard title from Sega Saturn, with praised character expressions. Then, Fantasy Zone is featured with an illustration, noted as a classic arcade game. Another section depicts a nurse character, possibly related to a medical theme, and expresses hopes for a new Sakura Wars entry, specifically Sakura Wars 2. Finally, there's artwork inspired by Nights into Dreams, wishing for dreams and considering it an unforgettable title. Below these illustrations is an article promoting Hiroshi Watanabe's Deja Vu 20th Century Otoshima Live Concert, held in Tokyo on December 10, 2000. It highlights the concert's success, mentioning a full house and enthusiastic audience, with Watanabe performing for over 2.5 hours, playing 23 songs, including the theme song Asu wa Hareru from the TV show Game Hiroba. The article announces Watanabe's new album, Asu wa Hareru, to be released on February 7, 2001, through Cider on Disc, and mentions his future media appearances to promote it. This page showcases reader submissions and content. Hachis! Why? Corner features humorous answers to reader questions, while Everyone's Plaza contains reader messages and illustrations with editor appreciation and calls for more diverse content, with contributors from various prefectures. Manga Training Hall encourages manga submissions, aiming to discover new talent with editor guidance, presented as a manga dojo. Book recommendations include Seek the Unicorn, fantasy fiction, and My Book 2001 Records, diary. A top 10 game ranking is also provided, with Green AM book color of green, less than PC greater than. Canon official setting and design collection, less than PC greater than. And Sister Princess Brother, I love you so much less than PS greater than at the top, along with price and publisher information. This page features a Namco corner, where readers ask questions and Namco responds. One reader from Hiroshima Prefecture asks why Namco isn't releasing games like Farius or Twinbee for Dreamcast, as they feel Namco only supports SFC and PS. Namco replies stating they are releasing Soul Calibur and Mr. Driller for Dreamcast, and they have many other games for the console, directing readers to Dreamcast Magazine for more information. Another reader from Miyagi Prefecture asks about Namco's future plans in the 21st century, expressing anticipation. The Tailroad Gobidu column is back, showcasing reader submissions of interesting Gobidu phrases. Examples include phrases using Zura, Dawasa, and Desu, with humorous illustrations and comments from the editor. The Mr. Driller World section features an interview with composer Noriyuki Iwadare, who discusses his work on game music, including Grandia 2, Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, and Deus. He talks about his musical background, inspiration, and the process of creating music for games and other media, like stage performances and Tokyo Disneyland. He mentions the Best of Grandia, Grandia 2 Deus, and Povo CDs as available works, and discusses his experiences with interviews and fan interactions, expressing gratitude for the positive reception of his work and looking forward to the future. This page contains multiple sections. Unconfirmed Information Bureau features rumors like a business simulation, Golf Shiyuyo 2, the potential Bikuriman 20,000, a Kraken DJ sequel, Konami's alleged ventures into beer and welfare, and a Tokimeki memorial pencil. It also reveals the Spring Rain Sunday theme song and a strange fashion trend. The Dorimari Land comic strip section presents comics parodying Dreamcast vs. PS2 with Doraemon, Sakura Wars characters, Full Comic, Super Strike, comics set in Kyoto, Shenmue 2, Final Audition, a comic on understanding people's hearts, and one about air combat. The final comic, Flower Princess, mentions Revenge, Alpha Storm, and Nulzi. Finally, the CDGU guide section lists new CD releases: V6's Very Best, TM Network's Major Turnaround, Kraken J Remix, Love PSYCHEDELICO's The Greatest Hits, Mars Matrix and Giga Wing 2 Original Soundtrack, and Fujiki Naohito's DVD, Naohit TV Ver 1.0. This page features content from various contributors. New Year Open Area Declaration includes comics showcasing characters' frustrations and speed. Robo Tommy's New Corner Committee proposes new segments, including one combining game, manga, and celebrity characters, and another posing hypothetical scenarios. This week's Fukawa presents humorous submissions, one about a phone book discovery and another about a Dance Dance Revolution experience. Other submissions include a request for a punchline and an image featuring Mo. Beloved Dog Puin's Diary provides a cute anecdote. The main article, 21st Century First Dream is DC? Whoa! By Omi Minami, reflects on the winter season and warm goods, recalling a childhood kotatsu memory and discussing heating systems. She shares a gas heater incident and appreciates warmth, even while gaming. Additional content includes This Time It's My Turn to Help Sonic, and an Omi's information section promoting reader interaction, and a beauty section. The page concludes with a photo caption series. This page commemorates the Shenmue Final Chapter title decision, targeted at children of the 21st century. It showcases reader contributions, including fan art and comics like Hot Water Gemdo, Shenmue Devil Chapter, and Shenmue Chapter 573. Discussions touch upon development cost reduction and potential story length adjustments beyond 100 chapters. A reference to Tapafa and 30 yen appears, along with a swan illustration. The point ranking table awards readers based on their contributions related to various Dreamcast games, including Shenmue, Jet Set Radio, Sonic Adventure, and others. The page also details magazine sections like Free Talk and Art Club. Finally, it provides contribution guidelines specifying postcard format, black ink, and contact information for submissions, using a contributor introduction from Miyazaki Prefecture as an example. Fumio Kurokawa, the burning publicist, reflects on originality and imitation in music and DJing, using a water tap metaphor. Kurokawa With a background in music, film, and the game industry, including work on Sega's Virtua Fighter, currently works at Maverick and Digicube. This week's news highlights several developments. A domain name dispute involving Sony is ongoing. Sega's new TV commercials are proving popular. Konami and PCCWJ, formerly Jaleco, have settled a dispute. The development and launch of humanoid robots are gaining momentum, with a robot exhibition showcasing the technology. Finally, the potential military applications of PlayStation 2 consoles, being purchased in bulk by Iraqi press stations, are raising concerns. Brigadoon Marin and Melon, a sci-fi adventure fantasy anime directed by Yoshi Tomimoto, is set in a retro-style 1960s Japan. The story follows Marin, an orphaned middle school student in Tokyo, and Melon, a Daruma-shaped robot from another world who becomes her protector. Key characters include Marin, voiced by Kaori, Melon Blue, Akari Tsukiya, Midori Makina, Ayako Kawasumi, and Sumaire Hanazono, Ayaka Kawasumi. The anime, broadcast on WOWOW since July, releases its first volume on video and DVD on December 21, 2000, with bonus content and a Brigadoon card as a first-run bonus. Official websites on WOWOW and Sunrise offer character information, episode details, and music. In related news, Toshihiro Hirano is directing Cute Girl Detective Miri, a special effects comedy about a girl fighting alien invaders. The show is airing on TV Saitama, with official website pre-orders available for video. Upcoming anime releases include the movie Cardcaptor Sakura, Sealed Card, on DVD/video, January 25th, and Gatekeepers Volume 5, January 25th. Lupin III, new, rebroadcasts on Animax, and OVA releases feature EX Driver OVA 3 and Dirty Pair Volume 4, January 24th and 25th. Digimon Adventure 02 Volume .1 and Ojamajo Doremi Volume 4 are scheduled for January 21st. DVD boxes include Angel Love, Wedding Peach, DVD BOX Yuri Box, January 12th, and Masked Angel Rosetta, Complete Edition. The TV anime Earth Defense Family premieres on WOWOW, January 9th. Two adult anime titles, Genesis Holy War Devadasi Volume 2 and Sin Sakuto Replay Fourth Night, are also listed. This page is a comic strip titled 2001 Segaichi's Dream by Something Yoshimatsu, who is confirmed as a famous animator. The characters discuss the new year, with one mentioning dieting and another expressing worry about the magazine's future in the recession. They make a joke referencing game titles, possibly related to Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. Characters mention Sega and refer to themselves as the Sega family, expressing concerns about magazine longevity and preparing for a rivalry. The strip includes sound effects and cartoonish expressions. A note at the bottom mentions Valentine's Day gifts from readers should be sent to the editorial department. This page is a continuation of the comic strip discussing various topics. The characters are talking about finding ideas for their column, mentioning pre-ordering a limited edition of a PS2 game called 43QQHG, which includes a Jenny doll. They then discuss the surprising range of items available for pre-order at 7-Eleven convenience stores, such as merchandise for Golgo 13 and Tatsunoko Hero Collector Box, and the fact that these include 1/72nd scale mecha figures. They also mention the variety of candy toys like Choco Eggs available at convenience stores, and express surprise at finding bath salts with anime figures, mentioning a product called Pafferin at drugstores. The overall tone is about finding everyday topics for the column and being surprised by the unexpected variety of products available in convenience and drugstores. This page is an interview with actress Ku Shibasaki, focusing on her role in the movie Battle Royale. The interview explores her thoughts on her character and acting style. She mentions that her character in Battle Royale, Mitsuko Soma, is popular, and explains that she didn't use foundation in CM's commercials or for the role, which might surprise readers. She talks about her character's coldness and the need to portray strength and resilience, even when facing extreme situations. Kue Shibasaki discusses her eyes being considered intense and needing to be mindful of that while acting. She also mentions enjoying crying scenes in movies and reflects on her own personality, acknowledging both good and bad traits. The interviewer praises her ability to portray strong female characters and highlights her intense vitality in Battle Royale. The profile section provides information about Ku Shibasaki, stating she was born on August 5, 1981, in Tokyo. She is known for appearing in a Pond's Double White commercial and in Just System commercials. Her acting credits include the movie Kakashi and TV dramas like Face Unfamiliar Lovers and Tokyo Garbage Woman. Her favorite manga artist is Inoue Takehiko, and her favorite recent movie is Dancer in the Dark, starring Bjork. This page is an advertisement for the Phantasy Star Online Navigation Guide, a perfect guide for the Dreamcast game Phantasy Star Online. This 2-page all-color guide is packed with valuable strategy information to help hunters fully enjoy the game. It covers character creation, network connection, online and offline play, game system basics, weapon and item data, and advanced techniques. It's priced at 1,200 yen plus tax, and was scheduled for release in late January 2001. Below this, there is also an advertisement for Togeki Graph Sakura, which seems to be a magazine focused on the Sakura Wars series, specifically the Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning game. It mentions Togeki Star's Gravure is overflowing, and highlights features like Winter Issue Gravure Sakura and Togeki Graph Sakura. It also mentions a Sakura Wars Great War picture scroll, and appears to feature an interview or article related to Kohei Ohata. It is advertised as being currently on sale, priced at 980 yen. This page presents a reader questionnaire for Dreamcast Magazine. It aims to gather information about the readers, including their gender, age, occupation, and the magazines they read. The survey also seeks feedback on the current issue's cover and articles, and explores the reader's Dreamcast hardware and software ownership, asking about current hardware, planned purchases, and the number of Dreamcast games owned. It also asks about the New Year's cards received from game creators and makers. Instructions on how to fill out the questionnaire are provided with example illustrations. The page features 3 tables. Table 1 lists articles from the current issue to gather reader opinions. Table 2 is a hardware list for readers to indicate what they own or plan to purchase. And Table 3 is a comprehensive Dreamcast software list. The Dreamcast software list in Table 3 contains a variety of games, including Outrigger, Aquapanic, Metropolis Street Racer, Ill Bleed, Aerowings 2, Airstrike, Woody Woodpecker Racing, NFL 2K1, NBA Hoopses, and Concept Expansion. It also includes numerous titles that were not released internationally, such as Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Inoue Ryoko Roommate, Innocent Tears, Angel Present, Gaia Master, Culdecept 2nd, Gundam Net Battle, Provisional, and Canvas Sephiroth no Motif. WOW Entertainment's 2001 page offers New Year greetings and details upcoming events. They will exhibit 5 new games at the AOU Expo, including Wild Riders. The page features an interview with Masami Morita, director of Sega Tetris, discussing its network battle focus and cheerful design inspired by Puyo Puyo. The page also announces the winner of the Sega Tetris Network Tournament, Korean, and plans for a subsequent tournament. A flashback products section highlights Tyson Tanto R-Style, a 1998 STV arcade game praised for its competitive minigames and cute visuals. Developers recall the game's creation, including the character Painter's Tool, and regret the lack of a home console release. The page concludes with an illustration corner for fan art submissions. Ask Nakagawa-san for questions about NAOMI, and contact information for Dreamcast Magazine's editorial department. This page is Hitmaker's official page, titled Hitmaker Trust. It questions, is Hitmaker really Hitmaker? And discusses the activities of the Rumor Arcade Group 3J. The article addresses gamers and hints at an internal investigation of Hitmaker, suggesting they might be more than just a typical game developer. The page showcases several Hitmaker arcade games under the title, This is certainly Hitmaker's maker. First is Virtua Tennis, known as Power Smash in Japan. Described as a realistic tennis game appealing to both hardcore gamers and tennis enthusiasts. It mentions the programmer resembling Tiger Woods, and anecdotes about the 3J Group's frustrating gameplay experiences. Next is Crazy Taxi, a hit in the US, highlighting director Kano's crazy branding approach, extending it even to food names within the game. It points out translation nuances and broadcast censorship in Japan. Top Skater is featured as a skateboarding game capturing a trendy Daoni feeling, popular among both serious gamers and casual fans. It touches on the English phrasing and feedback regarding the Japanese equivalent skateboard ichiban being considered uncool. Lastly, Derby Owners Club is presented as a game enjoyed by a wide range of players, from hardcore gamers to hostesses and office workers, drawing a comparison to the vibrant nightlife district of Kabukicho. It humorously mentions the risky development environment, with monitors posing an electric shock hazard.
A screenshot of Cybertrooper's virtual Neon is also included in this section.
This page, a continuation of Hitmaker Trust, questions if Hitmaker is truly Hitmaker and explores games made by the rumor arcade group 3J. Key 3J members like Chairman Ogega and Defense Minister Miyamu are introduced. Quote, the review highlights several Hitmaker arcade games, Hard Dunk, a 3-on-3 basketball game, and Sonic the Hedgehog, share a multi-coin play system. Funky Head Boxers, a boxing game, is praised for its clean spirit, despite its bizarre character design. Not Mark, a virtual reality shooter, is deemed regrettable. Dart Devils, a motorcycle racer, evokes a lonely feeling. DD Crew is a beat-em-up compared favorably to Final Fight. Lastly, Mars Channel, simple and fun, has a Taro Okamoto-inspired design but disappoints players with its disparity between advertising and actual gameplay. This page is all about Gundam Network Battle, a new simulation game for the Dreamcast set in the Gundam universe. It's presented as a new wind for the Gundam scene of the 21st century, highlighting the franchise's 20-year anime history and bringing new online battle gameplay to players. The article mentions that players can control mobile suits and space battles, challenging opponents over a network. The special Dreamcast News Report section reveals that Bandai is the publisher, the release date and price are yet to be decided, and it is an SLG, a simulation game, with communication play features. Screenshots show gameplay with MS-06, F-Zaku-2, and RGM-79 units engaged in space combat, displaying game stats like attack and HP, alongside scores of 60 and 52. The page also includes a Bandai homepage URL for more information. This page announces the realization of Gundam Network Battle, highlighting that network battles are finally becoming a reality in Gundam games. It mentions that up to 4 players can engage in simultaneous battles in this new simulation game, and players can choose to fight for either the Earth Federation or Zeon factions. The game is set during the One-Year War, but focuses on side stories, with players leading squadrons in network battles. The article introduces Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes for the Dreamcast, published by Bandai, priced at 6,800 yen, and released in 1999. The game features 3D shooting, VGA support, multiple camera angles, compatibility with arcade sticks, and communication play. Screenshots showcase in-game battles, and the user interface with command options and unit stats. The next page details the battle system of a Gundam game, likely continuing the information about Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes, from the previous page. It explains the Mode A system, where players give commands to units to engage in combat. Battles are described as real-time and change based on the situation, emphasizing strategic decision-making. The page highlights 5 command instructions: target to focus attacks, support to call for assistance, skill to use unit abilities, mission to set unit tasks like fighter, defender, or attacker, and information to check unit details. The battle mode initiates when units come into contact, requiring players to issue commands effectively. Strategic depth is emphasized, including concentrating attacks or supporting allies.
Certain attacks are noted as ineffective, making tactical choices important. A moral equals HP system is explained, where unit health points are represented as morale, which recovers outside of combat based on pilot stamina. In-game, it is displayed as hit points for clarity, similar to other games. The page also includes a column discussing the effectiveness of mobile suits in battle against larger enemy warships. Screenshots showcase battles and the command interface.
Mode B. Map mode is a pre-battle strategy phase where players position units on a hexagonal map. Up to 4 players can participate, enabling 2 vs 2 battles. The game features units from the One-Year War setting, showcasing iconic Zeon units like the Zaku-2 and Musai Cruiser, and Earth Federation units like the GM and Salamis Cruiser. The game also includes the Zeon's Papua transport ship.
The game incorporates Minovsky particles, impacting combat by disrupting electronics and radar. Pulsomi. High concentrations affect detection and accuracy of long-range attacks. Offline solo play is confirmed alongside network battles. Bandai Gundam Team thanks players for their anticipation and promises more information.
This page is an advertisement for a prize giveaway draw. By answering a questionnaire, readers can win one of 6 tech gadgets. Prizes include a Sharp Mebius Note PCMJ710R laptop, a Sony CyberShot DSC-P1 digital camera, an Olympus iTrek FMD250W wearable display, a Toshiba South Dakota 3110 DVD player, a Canon Canoscan N1220U scanner, and a Palm Computing M100 Palm Pilot. To enter, readers can respond via Internet, post, or FAX by the deadline of February 28, 2001. This page is a questionnaire for readers to enter a prize draw. It asks about your occupation, hobbies, monthly spending money, and game purchasing habits, like how many games you bought in the last year and what consoles you currently own and plan to buy. It also asks about the reasons why you buy games, where you purchase games, and your favorite game genres. Further questions cover mobile phone and PHS ownership and usage, including internet access methods and locations. Finally, it asks about reading habits of this magazine and other game magazines, reasons for purchasing them, and feedback on SoftBank publishing. The page concludes with a response form to fill in personal details for the prize draw entry. This page showcases a lineup of SoftBank strategy guides currently available and upcoming for purchase. Several Dreamcast titles feature prominently. For games already on sale, there are guides for Virtual-on Oratorio Tangram, Phantasy Star Online, and Mercurius Pretty. Looking ahead to mid-January, guides are advertised for Rival Schools 2, known as Moyero, Justice Gakuen, and Guilty Gear X. In early February, strategy guides are coming for Sega Soccer Slam, which is Saskatsuku Tokudai Gao J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, and Phantasy Star Online again, this time a perfect guide. Interestingly, guides for non-Dreamcast games are also included, such as Dead or Alive 2, Hardcore for PlayStation 2, and other titles across various platforms. This page highlights upcoming Dreamcast game titles and strategy guides. The top section lists previews for games featured in this issue, including the action title 100 Swords, the fighting game Fighting Vipers 2, the RPG El Dorado Gate Volume 3, and the Shoot 'em Up Giga Wing 2. The lower section details in-depth strategy guides within the magazine, covering a wide range of titles such as the online RPG Phantasy Star Online, the Japan-exclusive action game Detective Gentleman Dash, the stylish action game Jet Set Radio, the Japan-only card Captor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Great Strategy, another Japanagement sim J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, the party game Sonic Shuffle, the racing game Daytona USA 2001, the multi-directional shooter Gunspike, the fighting game Rival Schools 2, Project Justice. The visual novel Their page also features artwork of a winged character in a maid outfit, and a colorful robotic figure with wheels. Character designer Yoshio Sugio discusses his work on the upcoming Dreamcast title, 100 Swords. He was selected after developers at Smilebit found his artwork online, beating out 9 other candidates. Sugio's design philosophy focuses on detailed, lifelike characters that reflect the game's world. He joined the team in January 2000. Sugio was surprised to be recruited through his personal website, having initially drawn for fun since high school. The interview highlights artwork of a knight and a screenshot of gameplay. The heroine, Princess Falsia, is also featured. 100 Swords is a strategy game published by Sega and Smilebit, with a release date of February 15th for the standard edition and February 8th for a budget version. A demo will be available in the January 26th Dreamcast Magazine. This page highlights the Dreamcast game 100 Swords, providing new game information and handwritten title art. Character designer Yoshio Sugio continues discussing his approach, stating he aims to exceed client expectations by adding his own artistic interpretation, going beyond simply fulfilling requests. The page touches upon the game's art style, revealing a shift from an initial anime-inspired look towards a more realistic direction. Introducing the key development staff, we have Hyakuzo Kan in charge of the scenario, emphasizing his dedication to crafting the game's world. Iwade K is the main designer, overseeing the overall design and 3D aspects. Nibo Kensei is the director, described as a gentle yet dependable leader who also facilitates team coordination. The page features character profiles under the section 100 Characters Famous Book. First is Falsleel Gran, the Queen of Gran, detailing her background and role in the story told from 2 viewpoints, alongside Raf Naruaval. Another character profile is Iggy Cordoval, Falsia's military assistant and Royal Guard commander. There is also a 100 Special Country Exploration, Gran Edition section, profiling characters from the country of Gran, Edith Winogradu, Yuri Fangol, and Akka Labelholt. The country of Gran itself is described as a northern magical nation, characterized by its peaceful and intellectual people, who are actively working to maintain peace by sending envoys to resolve conflicts. This page continues the feature on 100 Swords. Character designer Sugiura discusses the process of drawing around 800 expression variations for characters, ensuring they match the scenario's dialogue. He mentions focusing on drawing detailed facial expressions and utilizing left-right reverse patterns to create variety. Sugiura also comments on the large number of characters, around 40 in total for the game. He talks about the challenge of capturing the personality of each one, and how he works with the scenario writer, Hayakuzo, on character expressions. He notes the adventure mode allows players to see various character expressions. The page includes character design artwork for Ashley and Davidov, along with a sketch for Big Ogre Plus. There's a section titled Sugiura's Artworks, showcasing these designs.
A check section features Sugiura's impressions of playing the 100 Swords adventure mode. Here, he describes it as easy for beginners to understand and get into, yet with depth. He anticipates players becoming engrossed in network battles and enjoying chat with friends online, finding the game interesting and full of possibilities. The page also highlights a detail about the main character's shoulder armor, explaining it was designed to mimic the movements of dragons from the game's world, incorporating a request from Hyakuzo to evoke the majesty of the dragon. Sugiura initially resisted this, but ultimately included it based on Hyakuzo's strong desire. He jokes about the material possibly being bone or dragon bone for cosplayers wanting to recreate it authentically.
This page continues the focus on character design for 100 Swords. It highlights Sugiura's artworks too, featuring design sketches for several characters: Rafu, Ruff, Anna, Priscilla, and Errol. Errol is described as Errol St. Just, a 15-year-old genius strategist and tactician with a cynical personality who collects masks from around the world. The page also features a check section asking, "Actually, are there many old guys?" Character designer Sugiura mentions that he enjoys drawing the nameless sub-characters, particularly older male characters, as they allow for more freedom and expressiveness in his art style. He finds it fun to experiment and discover unexpected expressions while drawing them. When asked about his favorite character to draw, Sugiura says it's not any specific character, but rather the general nameless sub-characters. Shintao, another member of the team, mentions that his favorite character is Mirabeau, who is the masked enemy of the protagonist Ruff, finding his unpleasant atmosphere very appealing. The next page is about Fighting Vipers 2 for Dreamcast, highlighting it as a game to start the 21st century with. It emphasizes the game's cage battle system, where players fight in enclosed rings, focusing on aggressive attacking gameplay. It mentions that even without knowing complex techniques, players can enjoy battles using guard and attack actions. The page includes an interview with Hiroshi Kataoka, director at AM2CRI for Fighting Vipers 2. Kataoka mentions that Outrigger, another title, was announced earlier than expected, causing some worry about it being forgotten. He explains that Fighting Vipers 2 on Dreamcast is based on demo footage for news outlets. The content is on GDROM and includes Shenmue 2 and Outrigger movie collections alongside Fighting Vipers 2. Kataoka states the team is working hard to release the game in spring, creating the system in America before bringing it to Japan, implying an international release is planned. He jokes about the FV2 movie being a Dreamcast GD movie. The page includes a sign-up section for more information. This page delves into the Dreamcast version of Fighting Vipers 2, highlighting exciting new features exclusive to this edition. It introduces the Super KO system, described as the industry's first reversal escape art, activated when a character is sent flying. The Dreamcast version promises hidden elements, including a new costume for Honey, and the ability to remove armor during gameplay, showcasing Honey both with and without her armor in screenshots. The page raises the question of whether arcade characters will be playable in the Dreamcast version. It also announces a pre-order special offer campaign and upcoming Fighting Vipers 2 pre-release trial events happening at various locations and dates in January. An interview snippet with Kataoka emphasizes the game's appeal, stating that it's a title you'll want to own and confidently declare you won't regret buying it. This page is about the upcoming RPG Eldorado Gate Volume 3 for Dreamcast, showcasing the new Monster Gallery feature. This feature will be available in the Extra mode and allows players to browse monster data files encountered in the game, including illustrations and text descriptions. It seems to act as a database to help players in battle. The page highlights a few monsters from the game, including Gorgon, described as having paralyzing abilities. Fuchihi is described as a ghost-like monster with a Japanese-style name and fire attribute. Needlecat has spikes on its head and appears to be a feline monster with a fire attribute. And Vizelvu is described as a bird-like monster. The game information section introduces Capcom's latest Dreamcast games, highlighting Biohazard Code, Veronica, stating that the latest information will be available monthly. There's also an advert for Street Fighter Zero-2i for matching service. This page delves into new elements featured in Eldorado Gate Volume 3. Firstly, it introduces the Gate system, which enables free movement to the expansive Land of Fate map. This makes revisiting locations and exploration much easier, essentially allowing the Land of Fate to be a central hub. Next up is Arison's new special ability, the Disease Gale Sword. This attacks power scales with Arison's speed stat. The article suggests that acquiring this skill will be an engaging part of the gameplay. The page also highlights Radia's power boost through high-level magic stones. It mentions that Radia, known for her strong willpower, will be particularly effective with these. Screenshots showcase the effects of magic stones like Heat In, a fire-type stone causing area damage, and Ice In, a water-type stone effective against large enemies. Another magic stone, Leaf In, seems to involve summoning plant-based attacks.
Finally, Chapter 7 is previewed, titled Capital of Flooded City.
This chapter is set in the town of Vanis, which is facing a flood crisis. The story revolves around a couple named Danshark and Reefish, who hold the key to the pump that can drain the water. The player will need to improve their relationship to resolve the flood issue, and Arison is tasked with persuading Reefish in particular. Screenshots depict dialogue scenes with these characters in what looks like a grand hall setting. This page covers Eldorado Gate Volume 9 and talks about the download content available for the game. The producer discusses the concept of the download store, mentioning that it was designed to offer new experiences to players. They considered various download ideas, from entire scenarios to smaller items, settling on the current format due to technical and infrastructure limitations at the time. The download store was created to provide players with something new every 2 months. The page highlights 2 upcoming download sales events: a Christmas sale and a New Century sale. The Christmas sale, starting December 24th, features items like the Silver Knife, Guardian Suits, Christmas Tree, Muffler, Wool Hat, and Snowsake, each with stat boosts and effects. The New Century sale, starting January 1st, includes items like the Silver Sword, Silver Hammer, Evil Mail, Scale Armor, 21st Century item, Snowman, Rabbit Ear Warmers, Skate Shoes, and Bracelet of All Things, also with stat bonuses. These sales offer items at discounted prices and are intended to enhance gameplay. Additionally, the article touches upon changes in the opening movie for Chapter 3, focusing on revisions to character appearances in opening scenes. It's mentioned that the Land of Fate members are featured looking cool in these updated scenes. Finally, the page provides answers to a quiz about the Forgotten Land Gabri from a previous issue, and explains the correct order in which to talk to the Gabri characters in the game. This page is a preview for GigaWing 2, highlighting that the game is just 2 weeks from release. It mentions that the game will surpass the previous GigaWing in graphics and scoring, offering a shooting experience for fans. There is a section titled, Secret! Have you seen it somewhere? Which discusses a hidden playable ship. It points out differences in the screenshots compared to previously shown ships, and hints that it is a ship from the original GigaWing game. It's stated that while the conditions to use this hidden ship are unknown, it's a nice bonus for fans of the previous game. The page also shows character selection screens featuring pilots like Carl, Albatross, Carmine Plus, and Sparrow. It mentions that the previous game had 4 playable characters, while GigaWing 2 has 5. The text notes that the characters and ships are designed to match each other, and encourages readers to pay attention to who pilots which ship. The game is stated to be released on January 18th by Capcom and Takumi, and is classified as a shooting game. It also mentions that the arcade version of GigaWing 2 on NAOMI hardware is scheduled for release in mid-January. The page ends by asking, what is the true identity of this machine, referring back to the hidden ship. This page details the gameplay systems of GigaWing 2. It explains the attack methods, highlighting the normal shot which powers up through item collection in 4 stages, force bombs which clear the screen and grant temporary invincibility, and the reflect force and reflect laser mechanics which are crucial for high scores by reflecting bullets and triggering item bonuses. The page also introduces the 4-player mode, emphasizing its design for simultaneous play and party enjoyment. Additionally, it describes a unique feature where a single player can control up to 4 ships, boosting firepower but increasing the hitbox size. Strategic formations are encouraged. Finally, the page presents 2 characters and their ships. Cart, the cool and collected pilot of the Kingfisher, a slow ship with wide shot coverage and low attack power, and Cherry, the energetic pilot of the Stork, a close-range combat ship with a useful subshot but weaker long-range capabilities. This page is about the game modes of GigaWing 2. It describes the arcade mode as the main mode, featuring 7 stages and character dialogue scenes between stages, emphasizing a deeper story than the previous game. Score Attack mode allows players to play individual stages to achieve high scores, focusing on chain combos and using reflect mechanics effectively for scoring. The Gallery mode lets players view in-game visuals, boasting over 100 pieces of beautiful graphics by the artist Fuyuki Tsurumi, including swimsuit images, appealing to female players and fans. The Ranking mode lets players view scores achieved in arcade and Score Attack modes. Option/Save and Load mode allows players to adjust difficulty, controls, and save/load settings. The homepage feature details the Dreamcast's online connectivity, mentioning a dedicated GigaWing 2 homepage with leaderboards and downloadable game data, encouraging online competition and ranking. The page also features character profiles. Gorg Kaiser Albatross is described as a cool and collected commander, piloting the Gorg Kaiser, a ship focused on attack power. Romy equals Seneca and Sparrow, and Remy equals Seneca and Raven, are also introduced as characters with distinct personalities and ship types, noting their roles in the storyline. Finally, a topics section announces a wallpaper campaign for PC users, where wallpapers featuring the game can be downloaded from various game websites, including GameSpot. Details are kept secret for now, but hints are promised on Capcom's homepage, with potential for further content like popularity votes and presents. The next page dives into the network play aspects of Phantasy Star Online. It announces the online RPG Phantasy Star Online is finally open for business, mentioning that North American versions will be released soon, allowing for international cooperative play. The magazine emphasizes the game's communication features and aims to help players discover new ways to play and interact online. It highlights the city area within PSO, which has been updated to a 21st century theme with decorations, specifically mentioning a Christmas tree from last year's holiday season, showing how the online world evolves with player interactions. It talks about PSO being a constantly changing network world influenced by player actions, emphasizing that it's a new form of online gaming experience. The page offers PSO network play tips, suggesting some hot topics for players. One tip is about item trading, cautioning players to be careful when selling items due to potential scammers. It advises using guild cards for secure transactions to avoid being cheated. Another tip focuses on resolving item disputes through Jenkin, rock, paper, scissors, promoting fair methods to decide who gets items found in multiplayer. There's a section about party play hints, explaining that item drops and map layouts vary depending on the team leader's section ID. To find rare items, players are encouraged to team up with players having different section IDs within the lobby. Finally, it touches upon item appearance, stating that different items appear in different maps, encouraging exploration and diverse gameplay. This guide provides tips for Phantasy Star Online network play. For force characters, the double reverser technique allows continuous technique usage by reviving a fallen teammate. Players are encouraged to use shortcuts for communication, such as pre-assigned messages for quick commands. A useful telepipe trick involves using another player's gate to allow repeated use of your own. The guide also details symbol chat with its animation feature, enabling cross-language communication through pictures. Additionally, the Puru Puru Pack vibration peripheral is introduced, enhancing gameplay immersion by reacting to in-game events like attacks and enemy proximity. Finally, it advertises the PSO Navigation Guidebook, offering comprehensive information about the game. This Phantasy Star Online guide emphasizes exploiting enemy weaknesses. The forest area features the ice-vulnerable Hildebeer. The cave area introduces altered beasts, like the poison lily, weak to non-lightning elements, and the puff slime, attackable when upright. Other enemies discussed include Booma, Go-Booma, lightning ice, Monist, fire, Ragrappies, fire, and evil sharks, varied elemental weaknesses. The guide recommends fire for grass assassins, and varying elemental weaknesses for pan arms, depending on their color. Dragons are resistant to fire but weak to ice, while the Nano Dragon is weak to ice and vulnerable on the ground. The guide also stresses the importance of weapon attributes and their bonuses against specific enemy types like native, A-Beast, machine, and dark. This Dreamcast Magazine strategy guide details how to defeat the Derole Le Boss in Phantasy Star Online. The guide outlines 6 attack patterns: laser beams, blue bullet barrages, rock falls, tentacle strikes, mine placement, and parasite deployment. It provides specific counters for each, such as dodging lasers by moving laterally, avoiding rock falls by watching for shadows, and escaping tentacle strikes by anticipating their retraction. Destroying mines and quickly eliminating parasites are also recommended. The page also offers mag breeding advice, recommending stat allocation based on character class. Hunters, especially humans and androids, benefit from POW and Dex. Rangers, human and android, should prioritize Dex for early handgun use. Forces. Human, Numan, and Numan females should concentrate on mind. Numan hunters and rangers are advised to use Dex for handguns, and then mind. Airdroid forces can disregard mind and focus on POW. The next page details 2 trick quests for Phantasy Star Online. The first quest, Barehanded Dragon Extermination Tour, challenges players to defeat a giant dragon using characters skilled in Roggle exploration, but with a twist. Weapons are prohibited, players must use the forest for cover, and only recovery and support techniques are allowed. The strategy emphasizes the importance of support techniques like Shifta, and recommends using characters like Humar and Numan. The second quest, Who Can Find High-Priced Items, focuses on item hunting within a limited search area. The rules stipulate a limited search area and prohibit the use of check rooms. The challenge is to find the most valuable item within the time limit. The page advises against cheating by pre-placing high-value items and suggests relying on item appraisal skills, noting that valuable items are more likely to be found in later areas. The page describes this quest as a battle of speed and item identification. The next page continues with more trick quests for Phantasy Star Online. The first quest is called Weapon/Armor All Local Procurement Survival. The rules are simple. Start with no equipment and gather everything you need on site. This quest is about surviving by finding equipment within the search area. A key point is that it's designed for 4 players, with the suggestion that one strong player gathers equipment for the team. The second quest is Hunter's Arm Showcase, Hidden Ooh Search. Full case. The rules are to clear the enemies in the search area, and then one player hides an item. The quest objective is for one player to hide 10,000 meseta somewhere in the cleared search area for the other players to find. The players waiting to search are to wait in the visual lobby. It's suggested to use guild card exchange in the lobby to invite friends, and even send simple in-game mail to gather participants. The page shows examples of hiding places like behind trees, in tall grass, and under lampposts, demonstrating various levels of difficulty for hiding the meseta. The page concludes by encouraging players to come up with their own original quests and submit them to Dreamcast Magazine. They mention that if the editorial department finds them interesting after playing them, they might feature them in the magazine as new trick quests. This page reports on the release event for Phantasy Star Online, PSO, in Tokyo, following a similar event in Osaka. The Dreamcast Magazine editor-in-chief, Nishimura, was a special guest at the Tokyo event, continuing from his appearance in Osaka. The article mentions mini-live performances and Q&A sessions with PSO developers at the event, which aimed to answer fan questions who couldn't attend in person. There's a caution section highlighting that it's been almost a month since PSO's release, and players should prepare to pay for their hunter's license. It explains that after the initial 30-day free period, a hunter's license fee is required to continue playing online. Payment methods are detailed, including web money cards and credit cards, both accessible through the PSO menu within the game's website. A notice section promotes the broadband adapter, BBA, for Dreamcast, necessary for online play via cable TV data services and other non-telephone line connections. It instructs users to purchase the BBA through the website of CSI Company, Limited, accessible by entering a URL in the Dreamcast browser. The BBA replaces the standard Dreamcast modem, enabling high-capacity data communication for a better PSO online experience. The steps for purchasing the BBA online via the CSI website and installing it on the Dreamcast are shown visually, highlighting the removal of the standard modem and attachment of the BBA. This page summarizes a Sonic Team Fan Thanksgiving Event Roundup for Phantasy Star Online, PSO. It includes Q&A sections addressing player inquiries. Sonic Team's staff in the game will have blue names. MAGs offer variety, potentially with rare forms unlocked through item feeding. The appraiser's appearance depends on section ID and weapon type. Different IDs might yield better results. Black screens during login indicate server congestion, and players should wait 23 minutes for an error message to avoid data corruption. The page also promotes network gaming, offering chatting tips to make friends, such as simple greetings and using greater than for direct messages. Finally, it announces a PSO Dreamcast Magazine exploration team and encourages readers to submit questions and illustrations by mail for publication. This page is a guide for the adventure game Tante Shinshi Dash, released on February 21st for 6,800 yen. The guide focuses on the ghost murder case, the third case in the game, and introduces investigation routes. You play as a detective investigating a series of ghost-related incidents. The guide highlights the character Mint, who provides information, and Mayuko, who's the protagonist to solve the ghost murder case. The gameplay involves progressing through investigation routes, but the events may not occur in a fixed order. The guide shows a flowchart of possible investigation steps, including locations like Hill Park visible from the sea, Office Street, and the detective agency, with time ranges for events at these locations. The reward system is also explained. Your payment decreases if you take longer than the resolution expected days to solve the case. The page warns players that the events are not strictly linear, and advises checking the event list if stuck. Screenshots depict gameplay scenarios with characters and dialogue boxes. The next page continues the walkthrough guide for Tante Shinshi Dash. It focuses on progressing through the ghost murder case by providing a checklist of actions and events with specific locations and times. The guide explains more about Mayuko, the cute girl from the Office Street Detective Agency, hinting at a hidden secret about her. It also introduces a beautiful woman observing Ryuroku, potentially connected to the ghost incidents, with events taking place at the park and a mansion. The guide mentions specific in-game messages that might appear near the detective agency, and actions to take when they do. There's a scenario involving a character named Shuichi suddenly appearing in the park during the investigation with Mayuko, only to disappear. The guide advises players to view Event 1, Find the Invisible Husband, to understand the truth about Mayuko. Finally, it hints at the obvious true identity of the beautiful woman and her connection to the case, which is tied to Mayuko and the ghost incidents. The checklist section provides concrete actions, locations, and times for players to follow to advance the game. This guide focuses on the Graffiti City Tag or Die stage in De La Jet Set Radio, outlining strategies for its various levels. The game retains a similar flow to the original, featuring a three-part story structure. Key stages include Shibuya GG, Defense and Quick Graffiti, Benton Boogie, Large Object Graffiti, Love Trap, Park Graffiti Under Pressure, Graffiti High, Station to Theater Route, Noise Reduction, Chasing Noise Tanks, Kogain Circus, Avoiding Love Shockers, Love Attack, Chasing Love Shockers, The Monster of Kogain, Residential Graffiti, and Number 540, Factory Grinding. The guide offers specific advice for the Bantam Street stage, including Spray Can Collection, and defeating Killer Number 5 Turban Man. It recommends using Cube and provides map and grinding tactics for reaching graffiti spots and using rooftops for safety. General tips emphasize efficient spray can usage, strategic timing against hazards, and utilizing grind rails for vertical movement. This strategy guide for the Grind City Rock'n'Roll Grind stage in De La Jet Set Radio details gameplay tips and stage elements. The stage, set in Grind Square, features elevated railways, a neon-lit boardwalk, and the Rakukaku Group's Capitol building. Players must utilize elevators to reach higher areas and avoid fall damage, especially from falling from elevators. The guide warns of dangerous spark soldiers, dark helicopter attacks after erasing graffiti, and advises on using ducts, power lines, and the provided map for navigation. The guide provides advice on spray can usage, optimal grind routes, including the map, and how to effectively use elevators, as well as tips on how to unlock hidden characters and beat specific sections. The Golden Rhinos gang is also mentioned as an antagonist. The final stage involves tagging graffiti and defeating enemies like Goji. This page provides a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Card Captor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video Operation, a visual adventure game. Tomoyo's Corner introduces the home theater and video exchange features within the game. The guide explains that in the introduction section, players can rotate graphics of characters and costumes using the L and R buttons to view them from different angles. Karo-chan Check encourages players to find hidden secret shots, hinting that many are available, and provides tips on how to discover them. It mentions that in easy mode, the analog stick and zoom buttons are not used, simplifying controls to just L/R triggers and the shoot button. The guide then details specific best shot and secret locations for Stage 1, Scene 1, Chase the Fly Card, Stage 1, Scene 2, Fight the Fly Card and Sakura, and Stage 2, Scene 1, Chased by Woody. These locations are described using directions and characters as references for where to aim and focus the camera. Finally, one-point advice highlights that there's only one secret location per stage, advising players to pay attention to Scene 2, Shot 2 in Stage 1, as it's particularly tricky to capture the fly card in normal mode due to the vertical camera angle limitations. This guide details best shot and secret photo locations for Card Captor Sakura, Tomoyo's video operation, across various stages. Stage 2, Scene 2, Stage 3, Scene 1 and 2, Stage 1, Scene 1 and 2, and Stage 2, Scene 1 are covered. Key locations include capturing Sakura, Karo, Woody, and Fly from different angles like front, side, and behind. The guide also suggests button mashing for difficult areas and emphasizes that even if an X appears, a successful shot within the time limit is acceptable. Clearing normal mode allows access to difficult mode, where missing any shot, including secrets, results in a miss. Success unlocks the video capture title. Completing easy or normal modes unlocks Karo-chan's Snack Hunter DX, a falling block puzzle minigame with two-player versus support. This page is a strategy guide for Saskatsuku Tokudai Gao J-League Pro Soccer Club vo Tsukuru, a J-League Pro Soccer Club simulation game. The guide focuses on training, player development, and team management. It explains how player condition affects training efficiency, noting that players in slumps or injured will not improve as much. The guide advises on recognizing player condition, with slumps and injuries highlighted as negative states impacting growth. It also details minigame team training sessions and their benefits, such as improved player coordination and captaincy. Various training types are listed, including club-selected system training, tactical training, positional training, individual playstyle training, stamina strengthening, and mental strengthening. The page further discusses player growth limits, stating that players typically reach their peak between 3,035 years old, after which their abilities decline. It recommends replacing older players with younger talent and monitoring player data to assess growth potential, highlighting that some late bloomers may continue to develop past 30. The guide emphasizes utilizing player data to understand growth limits and make informed team management decisions. This guide for Sakatsuku Tokudai Gao covers player training strategies. Special training is most effective on players in intermediate condition, avoiding use on those already in good condition. The coach's style and tactics heavily influence training effectiveness. Link training focuses on pairs of players to boost team coordination, especially for newer players. Self-training allows selection of up to 4 training categories based on position, enhancing specific skills. Goalkeepers focus on GK skills and rushing out, while attackers train shooting and keeping power, and other positions have their specialized training. All self-training carries a negative condition effect. The next page continues. The Saskatsuku Tokudai Gao guide, this time focusing on team training to boost overall team ability. Team training is described as fundamental practice, repeated to build a solid base for each player. The page highlights the merits of team training, stating it's designed for all players to participate equally, raising team-wide stats with each session. It also mentions that captaincy skill is enhanced through mini-games within team training. The main part of the page is a table breaking down different team training methods and their effects. The table covers systems like 361 or 433, tactics including counterattacks and zone press, and position-specific training for GK, DF, MF, and FW. It details how each training type impacts skills like tackling, passing, shooting, dribbling, stamina, and tactical understanding. The effectiveness is ranked from A to E, with A being the highest improvement and E being the lowest. This page moves on to individual training, explaining how it can unlock a player's hidden potential. While team training builds a foundation, individual drills focus on refining specific techniques essential for each position, molding players into top-tier athletes. The page details the benefits of this focused approach, emphasizing how it greatly enhances technical skills. A large table breaks down training types by player role and playing style, showing how each drill impacts various skills, from core techniques like tackling, passing, and shooting, to more advanced abilities like dribbling and heading, and even physical attributes and mental fortitude. The effectiveness of each training method is graded from A to E, guiding players to optimize their individual training regimens. This page is about Sonic Shuffle on Dreamcast, specifically focusing on the final stage called Fourth Dimension Space. The guide explains this is the last stage of story mode, set in a planetarium-like dome. It advises players to navigate the confusing map structure carefully towards the precious stones, as failing to collect them will prevent game completion. The page highlights using light ribbons to warp around the map, and cautions about black holes. Tips are given for navigating the maze-like stage, collecting precious stones, and preparing for the final battle against Void, emphasizing dodging Void's attacks and hitting switches on the ground to defeat him in the Void battle minigame at the end of the stage. To unlock secret characters in Sonic Shuffle's VS mode, you must first beat story mode, and then purchase paintings in the Sonic Room's gallery using rings. 4 secret characters are available. Big the Cat, purchased from Tails' gallery, uses the Karukun Follow skill, and has a power hold ability. Gamma, from Amy's gallery, boasts mode change hovering and transformation skills, along with the target laser ability. Cow, obtained from Knuckles' gallery, has no special board movement, but features the childlike innocence battle skill. Finally, Supersonic, bought from Sonic's gallery, has light speed movement and the Sonic dance skill. The next page dives into Daytona USA 2001, offering a strategy guide to conquer 3 courses. It's all about mastering the arcade version's familiar courses: 37 Speedway, Dinosaur Canyon, and Seaside Street Galaxy. For 37 Speedway, the focus is on nailing the final corner drift to win. The advice points to braking at the signboard before the corner and drifting through, maintaining a speed of around 300 kilometers per hour. The target time is 0:175:00. Dinosaur Canyon, according to the guide, requires drifts, but with a light touch to avoid going off-road, especially around point A. The target time to aim for is 0:46:00. Lastly, for Seaside Street Galaxy, the key is managing your time effectively, particularly at point C, focusing on drifting and maximizing your exit speed. The target time for this course is 0:33:00. For all 3 courses, the recommended cars are Grasshopper, Falcon, and Lightning, with short descriptions of their handling characteristics. The Daytona USA 2001 course guide for Seaside Street Galaxy, deemed the most challenging in Daytona history, guides players through 7 key points to achieve a 1:43.500 target time. Point A emphasizes flat-out driving. Point B demands precise drifting with brake, gear changes, and regaining grip. Point C stresses racing lines to avoid grass. Point D prioritizes exit speed over excessive braking. Point E promotes a smooth line with accelerator control. Point F highlights a long drift requiring deceleration. Point G involves heavy braking and drifting for the final challenge. Recommended cars include Grasshopper, Falcon, and Lightning. The next page is a strategy guide for Gunspike, a shooting game on Dreamcast. It focuses on the latter half of the game, specifically 3 random stages. Page details the Snowy Field stage, highlighting the difficulty increase in the later stages. It points out that avoiding damage in the first 4 stages is crucial for success. Enemy information is provided, focusing on White Genoid and Flame Soldier types. White Genoids attack, with launchers requiring timed counters, while Flame Soldiers use fire attacks, needing players to keep their distance and counterattack effectively. The guide covers 2 boss encounters: the mid-boss, Flying Fortress Kabuki, and the boss, Snowboard Robo-Rusher. For the Flying Fortress Kabuki mid-boss, the strategy involves dodging its 5-way bullet barrage and attacking during rotations. For the Snowboard Robo-Rusher boss, the first form requires quick movement to safe spots to avoid damage. Powerful attacks are recommended, especially for characters like Shiba. The second form requires caution with hand grenade attacks but is vulnerable if approached carefully. This guide covers 3 gunspike stages: Uninhabited Station, The King of the Jungle, and Crazy Machine Jet Tiger. Uninhabited Station features enemies in cargo trains and a stationary turret. Key foes include cannon genoids. The mid-boss is Dual Mech Savage Bros, best defeated after clearing initial genoids. The boss is Insect Robo Overlord Antonio, requiring a hyper attack at the start and after its jumps. The King of the Jungle is set in a jungle with robot soldiers and unknown creatures. Key enemies are Combat Robot Hexagon and Blade Droids. The mid-boss is Crazy Machine Jet Tiger, where you should focus on destroying gun pods. The stage boss, Jungle Master Sasuke, requires evading initial shots and attacking from behind, especially during after-image moments. The next page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast fighting game, Guilty Gear X. It provides gameplay tips for beginners, focusing on match starts and aerial combat choices. The guide discusses using normal attacks to control space at the beginning of a match and utilizing forward jumps with faultless defense for safer approaches. For air combat, it suggests jump attacks as a standard option, but highlights their predictability and the associated risks.
Mixing jump attacks with low attacks is recommended.
Air Gatling combinations are also mentioned, emphasizing the need to consider the risk of being blocked. The guide touches upon using special moves, but cautions against their predictability if guarded. It suggests aerial approaches as alternatives. Backsteps and backward jumps are presented as options to create distance and react to the opponent's actions. This guide details character-specific strategies against the CPU Testament in Guilty Gear X. Sole bad guy should apply pressure with Volcanic Viper and guard breaks. ZAT-01 uses drill special and 2-stage jumps for offense.
KY Kiski leverages crescent slash and air follow-ups. May employs Mr. Dolphin for continuous pressure. Milia Rage uses aerial combos and tandem top on wake up. Axel Low utilizes jump attacks and Benten Sansu. Potemkin repeatedly uses Mega Fist forward. Chip Zanuff uses aerials, close-range combos, and Tsuyoshi-style 2 shadows. Faust uses long-range normals and what's over here? Venom uses jump heavy slash and mad struggle. Testament repeatedly uses graveyard. Dizzy uses standing slash crouching heavy slash, jump heavy slash, and sets up fish feed. This guide offers strategies for fighting CPU-controlled Dizzy in Guilty Gear X. It emphasizes patience and observation, as Dizzy reacts instantly and punishes predictable tactics. Don't rely solely on guarding. Watch for openings during her air attacks or fish attacks, and prepare for her wake-up attacks. Character-specific strategies vary, with some emphasizing specific moves like Soul's Volcanic Viper or May's Mr. Dolphin. Others focus on controlling space, using command throws, or maintaining distance. The guide stresses using these tactics to exploit openings.
Finally, it notes that fighting CPU Dizzy requires adaptability and careful monitoring of her moves. This page is focused on Guilty Gear games, specifically highlighting the upcoming Guilty Gear Petite Illusion for WonderSwan Color, and featuring fan content related to Guilty Gear X. Guilty Gear Petite Illusion is showcased with a release date of January 25th, priced at 4,500 yen, and bundled with a Wonder Coin. Gameplay screenshots show Chiba-style characters Sol and Milia in combat. The page also includes a Talking in GGX corner featuring fan letters. One fan jokingly asks if the corner's Tomdang, person in charge, is a lolicon based on the content. The reply deflects the accusation and says it's based on age, not preference, and that these questions are unrelated to GGX itself. Another fan from Tokushima Prefecture expresses excitement about Black KY and its atmosphere in GGX. The editorial team acknowledges the fan mail about the difficulty in getting GGX and mentions they are repressing the standard edition due to shortages in rural areas, asking fans to wait a little longer. A section called Back Kai Setting reveals that Black KY, another version of KY Kiske in GG mode within Guilty Gear X, was designed to shock the world, hinting that revealing his settings might cause female fans to swoon. There are also fan-submitted character illustrations from different prefectures across Japan, showcasing fan interpretations of Guilty Gear X characters. The next page spotlights Moyo, Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice, a fighting game for the Dreamcast. This article reveals how to unlock a powered-up version of the character Batsu. It explains that in the story mode of Taiyo Gakuen, if you use Batsu and lose only one round in the second chapter, you can unlock this powered-up, super hot-blooded high school student, Batsu. Losing 2 rounds results in a game over. The page details powerful new moves that Batsu masters, including Burning Elbow and Mozu Otoshi, techniques inherited from the Kazama family. A table lists Batsu's special moves with their commands, such as Air Bullet, Burning Elbow, Mikazuki Kick, Senpu Kick, Hot-Blooded Full Power Air Bullet, Full Power Guts Upper, Full Power Senpu Kick, and Kazama-style Mozu Otoshi. There are also tag team moves like Hot-Blooded W Air Bullet Beam and Final Symphony. The bottom of the page reports the results of the Dreamcast Magazine Cup Communication Tournament for Moyo Justice. The first tournament winners are listed as KAQ-san in first place, Nyato-san in second, and Shimamoto Kazue Aikokai-san and Meimu-san in third place. The second tournament winners are Kikirake 2 NDSAN in first place, Kuki-san in second, and Teshi-san in third place. The article notes that 64 players participated, and the top players demonstrated high skill and strategy. This strategy guide for Project Justice, Moeyo Justice Gakuen, focuses on 3 crucial actions: jump attacks, throws, and pivot movement, circling. Jump attacks are for offense, projectile evasion, and air safety, suggesting rising weak attacks, followed by a strong attack, and using air throws. Throw strategies emphasize crouching weak attacks, combined with crouching throws, to punish opponents recovering from knockdowns, particularly when guarding. Pivot movement is not just for evasion, it's an offensive tool. Properly timed, it dodges attacks and throws. Avoid crouching weak kicks when pivoting. The guide encourages capitalizing on the openings created by successful pivots. Screenshots are used to illustrate these strategies. This page continues the strategy guide for Project Justice. It highlights 2 more characters, Hayato and Kyosuke, emphasizing their unique fighting styles. Hayato is described as a rushdown character, with strong reach thanks to his bamboo sword and long limbs. His main attacks are standing strong punch and crouching strong kick. The guide details combo attack patterns for Hayato, using air bursts and short air bursts, and emphasizes using his reach to keep opponents at bay and controlling the distance. Kyosuke is characterized as a tricky and fast character. He excels in rushdown tactics, using quick-standing weak punch and weak kick to pressure opponents. The guide details Kyosuke's combo attacks, which involve ground combos and short air bursts. His phantom kick is noted as a strong counterattack option, and his super Raijin upper is powerful but slow, requiring careful timing to land. Both character sections feature screenshots of gameplay, illustrating the strategies discussed, and combo attack lists with inputs. This page continues the Project Justice Character Strategy Guide, this time focusing on Natsu and Tiffany. Natsu is highlighted as a character who utilizes long reach and projectiles, emphasizing her standing strong kick and throw serve to control space and distance. The guide details how to use airburst combos to capitalize on her strengths. As a partner, Natsu is described as having solid zoning capabilities and good guts recovery, making her a dependable team member. The ceiling serve move, a projectile attack, is also analyzed for its utility in hitting opponents from various angles. Moving on to Tiffany, she is presented as a surprisingly technical character focused on counterattacks and close-range engagements. Her plus weak punch is emphasized as a guts counter move to turn defense into offense. Tiffany's speed and reach, with weak attacks, allow for effective counter strategies and hot-blooded combos. As a partner, Tiffany excels in close-quarters combat, particularly at the start of a round, and her throw blatant move is noted for its effectiveness and quick recovery. The guide further discusses whether to aim for a knockdown or continue pressure after certain combos, recommending the gluey knuckle to maintain offensive momentum. Finally, Tiffany's plus strong kick hip drop is highlighted as a fast, mid-level attack that's unblockable when crouching, creating mix-up opportunities. The next page features a strategy guide for Never 7: The End of Infinity, a Japanese-only adventure game. The guide focuses on how to approach the game's heroines to avoid a bad ending. It presents approach tips for Yuka, Haruka, and Saki on the first day, and for Haruka and Saki on the fourth day, noting that Izumi should be followed until April 4th. The guide highlights important choices during events, showing screenshots with dialogue options. It explains that choices impact the heroine's affection level, indicated by color-coded points. For Yuka, on the first day, choose Follow Yuka and Yes to increase affection. For Haruka, choose Don't Mind and Heavy to increase affection. For Saki, choose Throwing Different Words and Be in a Bad Mood. For the fourth day, it suggests approaching Haruka and Saki separately, advising to choose Impossible for Haruka and Do Something Mischievous for Saki to show interest. A section also reveals that by winning a tennis match against Izumi, players can unlock a CG image. Additionally, the page mentions an internet mode where players can download KYE file data. It advises that approaching Izumi and Kurumi effectively requires clearing the game at least once, and emphasizes the importance of aligning with each heroine's personality to succeed in their routes. This strategy guide focuses on Day 2 of Never 7, providing advice on interacting with Yuka, Saki, Izumi, and Kurumi. For Yuka, show concern and grab her hand tightly. With Saki, say "My throat is dry" when introducing yourself. Choose Kurumi and After the Waves, and go with her at the hospital. Gentleness is key. A poolside rapid approach emphasizes answering Saki's question with "Because I'm interested." For Izumi, unlocked after 2 character clearings, select Diving Like a Dolphin. With Kurumi, chase after her and Saki. The guide also details using the Dreamcast's VM to check affection levels, represented by hearts, for Yuka, Haruka, Saki, Izumi, and Kurumi, helping players track relationship progress. This page from the Dreamcast Magazine is a walkthrough guide for Never 7, Day 3, April 3rd, focusing on building relationships with the heroines Yuka, Saki, Izumi, and Kurumi. For Yuka's approach after the test of courage, comfort her and choose Yuka and pair, then hold hands. Later in the hot spring, select Sing or Swim. Saki's approach involves fishing and emphasizes the importance of promises. When Saki asks about promises, you need to choose the correct dialogue option to strengthen your bond. For Izumi, after she gets upset and leaves, you should chase after her and repair the broken basket. Select Really. Kurumi's approach involves dealing with her being caught in Saki's anger. Rush to her side by choosing Go to Kurumi's side. This sets up a Dokiri event during the test of courage. The Check Night. Night is definitely liver test. Section details the conditions for pairing up with heroines during the test of courage based on affection levels. To pair with Izumi, affection needs to be 8 or more and have cleared 4 or more routes. For Yuthoka, affection should be 10 or more, with 7 or more clears. Kurumi requires affection of 7 or more and 10 or more clears. And Haruka needs affection level 21 or more. The guide also mentions a hot springs event that can occur after the test of courage, particularly if Kurumi's affection is low, suggesting a forced hot springs visit to progress her route. This guide covers days 4 and 5 of Never 7. Day 4 focuses on approaching 4 heroines. Yuka, choose Think So and Offer a Hand. Saki, Chase and Apologize. Izumi, by Saki's hand. And Kurumi, Are Kurumi coming? And Leave It to Me. Day 5 features heroine-specific scenarios. Yuka involves a reflection on her past love. Saki has a beach rescue followed by intimacy with you. Izumi focuses on delivering a repaired basket and explaining a situation. And Kurumi involves a discussion about the time slip incident. The page also outlines branching conditions for each heroine's climax scenario, based on choices made and affection levels. These conditions dictate which heroine's route the player will follow. This page reveals information about the hidden boss character Kuryu in The Last Blade 2, Getsu Fuma Den Nimaku, Getsuka no Kenshi Final Edition. It details how to unlock him as a playable character and showcases his special moves. Kuryu is introduced as a powerful boss who can be unlocked by inputting a specific command at the character select screen. The page describes his background as a guardian deity and highlights his fighting style, which incorporates the power of the 4 gods. Screenshots demonstrate Kuryu in action, using moves like Kuga Kutan Noro Ya, Skyfang Crying Wild Boar Arrow, Tenjin Batsu Se Meru Daime, Heavenly Retribution Clear Sound Great Command, and Betsu Tenryu Soren Noro 2, Separate Heavenly Dragon Twin Leon Wild Boar Blade. The page lists Kuryu's techniques, including his special moves, super special moves, potential super special moves, and
Rampage, super special moves. The unlock command is shown as pressing the X button 10 times, B button 5 times, and Y button 4 times within 4 seconds, while highlighting the awakened state of Kaid in the character select.
This page continues the strategy guide for The Last Blade 2, Getsu Fuma Den Nimaku, Getsuka no Kenshi Final Edition, focusing on advanced combo techniques for characters using the skill and extreme sword types. It details Renzo Kugi, or combo techniques, explaining the combo routes and how they flow from left to right in the diagrams. It mentions that branching paths in the diagrams are activated by pressing up or down directions. The page then covers Ippan techniques, which are unique or variant moves that expand combo possibilities for the power sword type. It lists characters and examples of these techniques, such as Kaiei's Meimei Ren Zan Jin, Moriya's Antu Gekao, Yuki's Setsugeka Zan, Akari's Mukoku Kyu, Setsuna's Tenmon Hoshi no Meguri, Jubei's Yurashi, Shigen's Satsujin Ken, Kotetsu's Chikayori Tekiri Sute, Mukuro's Ruga, Musashi's Mamyu Ken, Kojiru's Tsubame Gaishi, Washizuka's Kyukyoku Ugi Ichiru, Genbu's Kame Mai Chi, Seryu's Seryu Tenrin Ha, Byaku's Kikikujin, and Suzainali. The page explains Ranbu Ugi, or Rampage Super Special Move Routes, presenting flowchart diagrams for standard, power, and technical types. It lists character examples for each type.
Standard type includes Kaide, Yuki, Kotetsu, Akari, Jubei, Shigen, and Kojiru. Power type includes Moriya, Setsuna, Washizuka, Mukuro, and Musashi. Technical type includes Moriya, Yuki, Setsuna, and Kojiru. The guide highlights that there are 4 variations for the Rampage Super Special moves depending on button inputs, with descriptions ranging from standard attacks to low attacks, launching attacks, and powerful, difficult to execute attacks.
The Reader Tip Scoop Plaza section of the magazine features Dreamcast game tips. For Charge and Blast, clearing 1P mode with any character unlocks Toriken J. Mauer. Completing the game with all characters, including Mauer, on normal difficulty or higher, unlocks Lisa Matsushita. An Omake visual is also unlocked. Mr. Driller has a color change trick. Holding L and R and pressing Y on the title screen changes Susumukun's color. Jet Coaster Dream 2 offers a money-increasing cheat in management mode, holding R halfway while pressing B and A. The page also details how to submit your own Dreamcast tips via postcard, with prizes awarded for accepted submissions. This page is all about the Guru Guru Onsen online service, celebrating its 2nd year and looking ahead to 2001. It's like a digital hot springs resort for Dreamcast users. They are even joking about calling next year Onsen 2. The page encourages players to join the Dorimaga Onsen Union and provides an address for signing up via postcard. There are introductions to characters like Department Chief Yuri and Section Chief Bayaro, who seem to be mascots for the service. They are promoting upcoming Net Onsen gatherings and announcing a New Year Shogi tournament scheduled from January 4th to 8th, with prizes including Onsen Prize plush toys. Looking ahead, they've got a future schedule scoop section, teasing events like the Lawson Cup, featuring Mahjong from January 25th to 28th, the Rate Cup with 7 Narabe from February 8th to 11th, and the Hotel Epinal Nasukogan Cup, also with 7 Narabe, from February 22nd to 25th. Area Spic. It seems like Guru Guru Onsen was a hub for online Dreamcast gaming and community events. This page is focused on the Rune Jade Base Camp online service, announcing its final limited-time missions. It mentions that these missions are the last ones planned. The missions are Onigashima, which runs from February 2nd to February 4th, described as a bean-throwing event with colorful Oni and ghosts appearing. Satano Yoru is from July 6th to July 8th, set in a starry night dungeon with phantom-like monsters. Finally, Hyakyagyo takes place from August 10th to August 11th, creating a haunted house atmosphere with skeletons and warriors. The page also introduces Dive to Hell as the ultimate clan mission, highlighting that it's the most difficult mission available, with monster appearances being completely random. It lists the rewards for completing clan missions, categorized by male and female names such as RJ King, Mr. RJ, Zeus, Apollo, Poseidon, Mars, Lone Wolf, RJ's Famous Man, Freeman and RJ Queen, Miss RJ, Gaia, Artemis, Andromeda, Venus, moon goddess, goddess of freedom, beautiful female warrior, and noble woman. This page highlights player contributions and tips for the Dreamcast online game Rune Jade. In the free top corner, a player from Hyogo Prefecture, Kenta, praises the game's music, particularly in the character selection screen, comparing it to SF movie soundtracks. Another player from Tokyo, Lean LN, shares a technique about item drops, stating that once you have 400 items in a dungeon, enemies will no longer drop items, and this is confirmed by the person in charge. A player notes that network connection fees have become paid, but the online experience is now more comfortable and offers more chances, suggesting unlimited possibilities. The special big issue section features an illustration of a Rune Jade character named Yeldon, depicted as a female knight with a strong-willed expression, drawn by Keld from Tokyo. The latest AKA corner titled, I Hate It. This AKA compiles player complaints about annoying online player types, giving them nicknames. These include players who only greet in talk rooms, those with unclear or strange AKAs, players pretending to be girls, players with unknown conditions for their AKA, death god players, players who are unfair, and otomeshi players. Finally, considering the strongest equipment, offers advice on character builds. For ninjas, it suggests focusing on strength and agility early on, and then transitioning to other stats like stability, speed, heaven, and wisdom later, while utilizing unique items. For knights, it recommends prioritizing defense and HP, and using rings for elemental resistance, especially since knight's command ability is low. This page introduces Spiker's Battle, a new arcade game from Sega/Amusement Vision for the NAOMI arcade system. This title is presented as a battle royale style game, a multiplayer arena fighting experience for up to 4 players simultaneously. The game focuses on combat in all directions, emphasizing the need to be aware of your surroundings and defeat opponents decisively. It's highlighted as having a completed multiplayer system, and is announced for upcoming arcade release. Spiker's Battle is described as an evolution of the Spike Out series, but geared towards competitive multiplayer battles. This page continues the introduction of Spiker's Battle, which is known internationally as Spike Out Battle Street, a new multiplayer battle royale fighting game for up to 4 players on the NAOMI arcade system, evolving from the Spike Out series. The page highlights the opposition team, which is Team Spike's rivals, consisting of 4 new characters: Hikaru, Bullet, Gorn, and Kitty. Screenshots showcase gameplay with these new characters in action, fighting against Spike. There's an interview section with Toshihiro Nagoshi, the producer of Spiker's Battle, who discusses the game's development. He mentions that the concept for a battle royale style game existed since the development of the original Spike Out. He emphasizes that Spiker's Battle is designed for easy multiplayer enjoyment, suggesting that even players unfamiliar with fighting games can quickly pick it up and have fun. Nagoshi also addresses questions about a potential sequel to Spike Out, stating that while Spiker's Battle isn't Spike Out 2, they are currently recharging and considering future developments, but any sequel would need to meet high standards and be truly satisfying for players. He concludes by thanking the interviewer. This page introduces Planet Harriers, a 3D shooting game developed by Sega/Amusement Vision. It highlights the fun of 2-player cooperative play and provides basic gameplay techniques. The page details 4 key benefits of playing in pairs. Merit 1. Double lock-on for increased firepower, allowing players to quickly defeat enemies. Merit 2. Gold sharing is possible, where players can transfer gold to each other at shops. Merit 3. Health recovery is available when players are close together in pair play, connecting with an energy band to restore health. Merit 4. Playing with 2 people makes the game less daunting, allowing players to progress slowly and steadily. Basic techniques are explained. Lock-on. Press and release the button for missile attacks. Turning. Use quick turns to evade enemy attacks during combat. Item acquisition. Use Vulcan shots to open item boxes and collect items. The page features character introductions. Good. A standard character recommended for beginners with balanced attack and mobility. Corey. A character balanced in attack and speed. Nick. Slower movement but quick to draw his weapon, described as easy to use. X. Speed-focused type, but missile aiming can be difficult. The overall tone emphasizes the enjoyment of cooperative play and offers helpful tips for new players to get started with Planet Harriers. This page is a strategy guide for Stage 1 Windell in Planet Harriers. It starts by advising players to get hidden bombs by shooting purple objects, as bombs are essential. For the floating continents section, the guide recommends going underneath and quickly locking onto and attacking the green enemies. The page highlights the shop available in this stage and recommends buying Fuel plus 3O and Heart plus 1, suggesting the Big Bomb as a good option if you have spare gold, and mentioning the barrier item. After leaving the shop, a large number of yellow enemies appear, so it's advised to use bombs to clear them out and obtain a lot of gold. The guide then explains the ring laser sections, instructing players to destroy the core in the center and lock on to multiple dragons at the boss area for more gold. The stage boss, Valkandra, is a six-headed dragon. To defeat it, players should lock onto its mouths when they open and use missiles. When only one head remains, it switches to a press attack, which can be avoided by moving around. After defeating in its press attack mode, players can collect gold from the smaller enemies that appear behind it within a 20-second time limit. This page showcases a variety of figures from different series. On the right, there's an emphasis on the beauty of asymmetry, featuring a Master Grade 1/100th scale RX-93 versus new Gundam plastic kit. The page also advertises soft vinyl figures from the Iron Armor Mikazuki series by Amamiya Senzo, including Mikazuki Go, Furinidam, Doidadam, and the Tsukio Machines No. 1 and No. 2. Action dolls from the World Special Forces Dollification series are featured, namely Elite Force Terminator, Terminator Scar, and Terminator Carlos. A resin kit called SMP Co Squared Strikes Back is highlighted with the intriguing question, "Beautiful girl to flying form?" Lastly, there's a painted finished product figure of Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop, described as a bewitching borrowed money maiden, and action figures of the ultimate 4 major body change Kuga, super-equipped masked rider Kuga, including Mighty Form, Dragon Form, Pegasus Form, and Titan Form, are advertised. This page highlights various figures, including those from the 80s Japanese drama Hisatsu Shigotonin, such as Nakamuraya Gluko. Action figures from Alice in Nightmare, inspired by the American McGee game, depicting characters in a dark style, are also showcased. Other figures include Zoid's EZ-038 Elefander assembly kits, Japanese monster figures from the Night Parade of 100 Demons series, Tengu, Kappa, etc., and resin kits for Ace Combat Electrosphere aircraft. Soft vinyl figures from Murder License Tooth and Black Angels, featuring Yuki Yoji, are present, along with a figure from The Iron Giant, First Contact. A topic section explores the realistic nature of 1/1 scale figures. The article Dream a Girl focuses on URI, vocalist of the popular music group Move, known for their association with the anime Initial D. Move has sold 2.5 million comic books, and their music has been featured in the Initial D anime series, including the third stage movie. The article profiles Yuri, listing her birthday, age, birthplace, hobbies like driving and nail art, and her music preferences, black and R&B. It highlights their single, Gamble Rumble, a fast-paced song, and the theme song for the Initial D movie, praising MOTSU's rap and crediting Takanori Kimura for discovering Yuri in 1997, leading to Move's formation. The single includes a B-side track, Strike On, which is even faster. The article also provides the CD cover details. YURI from the band Move discusses her personal growth, noting how her work has consumed her, even in her leisure time. She aspires to perform live more and is focused on improving her singing. She appreciates her bandmates, Kimura and MOTSU, and seeks a kind, interesting, and mature partner. Yuri prefers being called cool over cute. Regarding the new single Gamble Rumble, she highlights its catchy chorus and the personal resonance of the lyrics. Though initially challenging, she has adapted to MOTSU's lyrics. She is also being encouraged to write her own lyrics. The article also promotes Initial D Third Stage, focusing on Takumi's journey, and a premiere ticket giveaway. YURI is excited for the movie and encourages fans to enjoy Move's music within it. YURI also talks about her love for driving, her preference for American four-wheel drive vehicles, and her safe driving habits. This page introduces the manga series Guru 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 Guru, Happiness Messengers Volume, by UEK USA, showcasing the main characters. First up is Guru, a bright and scientifically minded middle schooler who loves creating creatures. Then there's Usagi, a rabbit-like being made of gel cells with human-level intelligence and common sense. Next are Aoi-chan and Faceman Aosan, a creature assistant with 2 personalities. We also meet Ayase-kun, Guru's classmate, who is a mecha fanatic obsessed with Tsurutsuru Dekateka. Meishi-san is introduced as a school idol and narcissist who adores fluffy everything. Finally, there's Akuma, Guru's teacher's demon, known as Omamori, but doesn't do much besides being called that. The page also features comic panels, depicting these characters in humorous situations, seemingly in a school environment with dialogue bubbles. The overall tone is lighthearted and comical, introducing the world and characters of Guru. Weekly Dreamcastrology presents horoscopes for January 5th to 18th for all zodiac signs. Each includes fortunes for men and women, luck indicators for money, health, love, work and play, advice, a lucky color, and a lucky item. Aries should gather information, lucky color deep pink. Taurus should be decisive, lucky color white.
Gemini needs mood elevation, lemon yellow.
Cancer should consider parties, wine red. Leo needs detail attention, orange. Virgo can expect work results, blue-green. Libra faces love troubles, dark greens. Scorpio should maintain momentum, brown. Sagittarius needs rest and planning, light orange. Capricorn has love chances, gold. Aquarius needs approach adjustments, navy blue. Pisces will recover, silver.
Today's lucky person is Ogami Ichiro, advising release of feelings and a shrine visit.
The next page is focused on special gifts for Dreamcast Magazine readers. There's a chance to win several prizes by answering a questionnaire. These gifts include a Tomb Raider mousepad featuring Lara Croft, with 2 available to win, and provided by Eidos. Next up are 15 chances to win your choice of Dreamcast software, from titles released by January 19, 2001. There are 5 feet Shakat Tanbarin alarm clocks from Sega up for grabs, described as colorful and useful with an alarm function. A Moero Justice Gakuen, Rival Schools poster from Capcom is also a prize, and there are 2 of these available. Dreamcast Magazine original name card cases and t-shirts are also being given away, with 10 of each available respectively. Lastly, 25 readers can win a Dreamcast Magazine cover design postcard featuring Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia. The page also previews the upcoming February 9th issue, promising lots of content including PSO and other Dreamcast game information. There are also details for contacting Dreamcast Magazine for inquiries and a list of prize winners from the December 22nd 29th issue, which includes various prizes like Dreamcast t-shirts, Dreamcast software, Samba de Amigo Ver, 2000 plush toys, Eve Zero setting materials, original t-shirts again, and Dreamcast Magazine cover postcards. The Dreamcast Magazine website launch is also announced at the bottom.
Finally, there's a staff list showing the names of the editors, writers, and other contributors.
This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Never 7 The End of Infinity, a romance-adventure title from KID. The advert features artwork of the game's characters and highlights that the game is currently on sale and well-received. The standard price is listed as 6,800 yen, excluding tax. The bottom of the page includes the KID company logo, address and website details, and notes that the illustration is by Kagasaki Yuna. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Angel Present, which is described as a moving story for those who cannot forget their dreams, a journey to find a precious heart. The game is scheduled for release in February 2001 and is developed by Studio OX, published by NEC Interchannel and Hunex, with illustrations by Noritaka Suzuki. The advert showcases anime-style artwork with angel imagery and characters from the game.